Good evening, everybody, and welcome to tonight's Thursday night contest between the Moore Park College Raiders and the College of the Canyon Cougars. Moore Park comes in with a 1-4 record, and College of the Canyons comes in with a 4-1 mark. They are 14-2 within their last 16 games, dating back to last season. And Nick, as we look forward to this one, in terms of Moore Park, they came out strong, 28-28 through three quarters last week, and then the wheels kind of came off at the end of the fourth quarter, 27 unanswered points given up. How do they look to clean that up this week?
Well, I think you first got to start with the benefits. If you look at that game of the first half last week against El Camino, Moore Park did an excellent job of executing the run game. We saw that all three running backs were getting multiple reps with Malachi Meeks, Eddie Mbata, and, of course, Brandon Archibald. But they really lost steam during the second half of the game. And that really led to the demise as El Camino was able to make great second-half adjustments that ultimately caused Moore Park to blow a 28-14 lead. So what they're going to have to do for this one is they're going to have to, when they have success in the run game, they got to understand how they can build off it and not be static. They're very static. They kept doing the same thing over and over, and El Camino was able to shut it down.
Important to note that Eddie Mbata did go down last week with what was an apparent injury. We will see how he plays today, or if he plays at all. We are unaware of whether or not that will happen. So as we continue, Moore Park was also 5 for 13 on third down offensively. That's a 38% clip. But they were more successful on long drives. Their longest one coming with 9-11 in possession time last week. How did they get those strong offensive drives coming into this game?
Well, I think when you look at the strong offensive drives, you have to really understand where is this coming from. And without a doubt, that's Isaiah Johnson and the way that he's able to control that offense and read defenses. I mean, he's a dual-threat quarterback, and as we've seen, the main reason why Moore Park had so much time of possession, as you had talked about, is because he's so good at when he feels pressure in the pocket, he's able to not just throw the ball away, but he's able to, for the most of the part, keep it himself and take it upfield. So Isaiah Johnson is a huge part of the reason why Moore Park has such a large time of possession, is because he knows how to keep the ball in the possession of Moore Park's hands.
And defensively for Moore Park, something that they will look to improve, all their touchdowns last week were scored with under 3 minutes of possession time for the other offensive team. So how do they look to either get off the field quickly or have a methodical pace so they don't get tired as easily?
You're talking about Moore Park's defense?
Defense, correctly.
Correct. I think that the area that Moore Park exceeds in the most is, without a doubt, their defensive line. You know, Ivory Jackson, and then you can also look towards the interior as you look at stars like Daniel Henderson, along with Carlos Coates. So they really need to just keep stuffing the run. The run game is something that Moore Park has been rather well at all year, but their pass game is definitely their kryptonite. So making sure that they keep those passes in front of them, stick with a very conservative zone coverage, and that's how they're going to keep themselves off the field or on the field for as minimal as possible.
El Camino looking back to kick. Offensively, they had 290.4 pass yards per game. But they will be starting on defense tonight as the kick is away, and we are underway in this one. Back deep to return. They're going to take it out, and it is going to be at around the 20-yard line to start for the Raiders offense.
That's Alex Sardi right there coming out with a nice easy run, right at about the 20-yard line, giving his team a rather well-fielded position.
Important to note again, Ed Mbata did go down with what was an apparent injury last week. We will see who will start at running back today for the Raiders. Malachi Meeks in that mix.
And at the QB position, we're seeing Trey Johnson out there right now.
A different quarterback to start. No word on why that, of course, has happened. Can't speculate to this point. Brandon Archibald in the backfield to start. It will be a pass. It is a short one for a gain of a few.
Dupree Fuller right there. He's been Mr. Reliable more than I think anybody else on this offense. Now, he has a couple of receiving touchdowns on the year, but he's not a guy you see make too many plays, but when he makes those plays, it always seems to be crunch time. Dupree Fuller, 6'4", over 230 pounds, a big boy, and not too many people want to get in front of him when he gets the ball in his hand. So look for Dupree Fuller to have a game tonight. But as you talked about, Justin, I am curious to see Trey Johnson start this game off.
9 passing touchdowns on the season for the Raiders. Fuller in motion. It'll be a run. It's Archibald. He's got it to the outside, and it's a solid gain. Will be a first down.
Brandon Archibald, the number 3 running back here for Moore Park College. I like that they're starting him off in this game tonight, because it just shows that Moore Park's definitely running a different game scheme than we've seen them run in the last couple weeks. Eddie and Bat is someone that we have seen a lot, and he did go down last week, as you had alluded to. We might see him tonight. We are not sure, so we're not going to speculate. But Malachi Meeks has definitely been the guy. Archibald has got the least amount of reps, but going with him tonight keeps them on their toes defensively.
Solid depth at that position. It's another run. He's going to take it up the middle and get a minimal gain of 1 or 2. It'll be marked at around the 32-yard line.
Now, a good problem that Moore Park has in the running back position is Brandon Archibald. We saw him running up in between the tackles on that one. But he's usually a guy you're going to see go to on the outside. As the play prior, he had picked up a first down because he's so dominant when it comes to him getting to the outside the hashes. He's very quick, and being only about 5'7", 5'8", he needs that speed to use to his advantage. So when it comes to someone like Brandon Archibald, look for him to be not only a running back, but maybe a slot receiver as well.
13:15 left in the first and counting. It's a pass play. Scrambling out of the pocket is Johnson. He'll take it on a run and get a few more. It'll be a 3rd and medium coming up.
Now, Trey Johnson right off the bat showing that he's a different kind of quarterback than Isaiah Johnson in the fact that he will pick up yards for his team, but he's not going to use his body to get that extra yardage. And you can make the argument, that that's a rather safe call. Isaiah Johnson has the heart of a lion, but he uses his body constantly, and there's reasons why we've actually seen him get injured in the past.
And the snap is away. It's a handoff, and it will be not enough for a first. 4th down coming up near the 40-yard line as we have 12:26 and counting in the first quarter. They are 15 for 50 on 3rd down conversions this year. That's the Raiders for 30% on the year. And they're going to go for it with a 4th and 8 north of the 50. A risky call. No, it'll be a pooch kick, and a beautiful one at that. It'll take a bounce and be marked. We'll see where they mark it. It will be marked at the 27-yard line. So that is where College of the Canyons will start their first drive.
And that's what's known as a quick punt. It keeps the defense off their toes for that exact reason, and Justin had just talked about right there. They're not expecting it, and therefore they don't have someone back there to return. College of the Canyons, of course, they didn't have someone back there to return the punt. So it's basically like a free kick, and it allows Moore Park's defense to get rather comfortable field position.
College of the Canyons, a very methodical offense. The majority of their TDs, when you look at time of possession, coming on drives of 5 minutes or longer. 12 minutes to go left in the first quarter. Ball marked at the 27, 1st and 10. 4 wide receivers set. And it's a run to the outside. A few yards picked up there. 2nd and 7. That was Alonzo Henderson on the carry. Excuse me, not Alonzo Henderson. That was Caden Dunn on the carry there. 2nd and 6. 11:33 and ticking left in the first. 4 wide receivers, 3 on the near side. It'll be a pass. It's a quick one. Inside, he breaks it back out. A nice stiff arm, knocked out at about the 38. That was number 15, Trey Longstreth, on the reception. It will be a first down.
And a nice setup early on here in the Cougars, trying to establish the run game to build off on the pass game. Nice, comfortable. They're not doing too much. They're just trying to run it outside the tackles a little bit here. Quick 5-yard out there just to keep the defense honest. But watch how that develops if Moore Park can't get a handle on these first down.
290.4 pass yards a game for the Cougars. There's a flag on the play. And it is a false start. It will move them back behind the chains. 1st and 15. Coming up with 10:54 to go. In terms of passing touchdowns on the year, they have 13, with passing yards per completion being at 15.1. So when they do pass, they go for the bigger plays deep downfield. 3 on the far side. 1 running back. They are going to give it off, a run up the middle, and a solid run They will get a good chunk of yardage back.
Nice tackle there by Quentin Palmer coming up on that. Quentin Palmer, one of the larger linebackers. In fact, maybe the largest linebacker listed here for the Moore Park College defense. He's listed here at 6'4", 225 pounds.
That was Caden Dunn on the carry. 2nd and 5, a 10-yard gain. 10-11 and ticking. Ball marked at the 44-yard line. It's a pass. They're going and trying to go inside. It was thrown a little low. We'll see if they mark it as a completion. They will, but it will be a yard or two short. It will be a 3rd and short coming up. 9:53 left in the first quarter.
Now, a 3rd and 1 at about the 50-yard line opens up a lot in the playbook. You're not just looking for the quick, 2-yard run up the middle. You can spread it out as they have 4 wide here. So look for them to do something potentially outside.
3 on the near side, 1 on the far side, and another flag comes in. Marked in the backfield.
And that's something that you don't want to see, especially on a 3rd and 1 for the offense.
It's a false start for Kadeem Diouf. 3rd and 6. So a more obvious passing situation with 9:23 left in the first.
Makes it a little bit more predictable for the Moore Park defense to see what kind of package and ultimate type of play that the Cougars are going to come out in.
Now with 4 wide receivers, 2 on each side. 1 in motion. And they snap. Looking, trying to get out of the pocket. Here comes the rush. The pocket collapses, but he's able to get away and break contain. And a solid run. That'll be a 1st down easily near the 45-yard line.
And that's Armani Eder on the run there. Now, Eder is a deadly dual threat as he leads the team in rushing touchdowns with 4, and he also has 1,327 passing yards on the year. He's been their starter the entire way through, and rightly so.
So 1st down and 10, 8:42 and ticking. North of the 50 now, marked at the 46. 2 in the backfield. It's a pass. They're going long, a little miscommunication there, and it'll fall incomplete. The intended receiver, number 9, Trevin Elliott.
And I'm surprised with Eder's decision there. He had Jordan Anderson, number 25, open on the right side of the field as he was crossing right across the linebackers. Nobody had him covered, and he had, without a doubt, a step or two on all defenders in the middle of the field there.
2nd and 10, 8:29 left in the first. 3 wide on the far side. And the snap, and they're going to hand it off up the middle. Diagnosed quickly by the Moore Park defense, and a swarm of Raiders stops them. It'll be 3rd and long for the Cougars. 8:17 and ticking in the first. They will mark the ball at the 44-yard line. In terms of, we said passing touchdowns were 13, but in terms of pass yards per attempt, they get 9.4, so it is plausible that they could possibly pick up this 3rd down here. The snap is away, looking for the screen, diagnosed immediately. That was number 18 for the Raiders.
Colby Williams.
Colby Williams on the tackle. Nice open field play right there. 7:37, it will be 4th down, and the Cougars will need to punt.
A little surprised on that call there by Eder, pardon me, the decision, I should say. It wasn't his call, but his decision, rather, to hit his receiver on that one just because he was so short from the sticks. There wasn't any possible way that he would have picked it up as Williams was all over that one. But as you said, that is going to bring up a 4th down and 12.
Malachi Meeks back to receive the punt. It's away. And they're saying to stay away from it. It takes a Cougar bounce down inside the 20. And they are going to mark it at the 17-yard line. 7:03 left in the first quarter. The second drive for the Raiders, their first resulted in a 3-and-out.
And Moore Park's game plan tonight, unlike anything we've seen so far in the year, Malachi Meeks punt returning, something we don't usually see, at least too often. Brandon Archibald and Trey Johnson both starting the game. And though they did have to punt on a 4th down on their prior drive, they were able to pick up a first down, so there was some success within that unit. Let's see if they can make something happen on this drive.
Moore Park also more successful on more methodical drives. 449 was one of their most successful drives, resulting in a TD in time of possession last week. So 1st and 10, 2 wide receivers on each side. 1 in motion. It will be a pass on 1st down. And a solid pass right within the zone to the 31-yard line. A 1st down. Near a 1st down, that's number 31, Zach Jones.
31 on the 31, I like it. Zach Jones, nice read right there. Easy route. Zach Jones ran it perfectly. Nice 10-yard in. He also had Blake Batarse open under. So it's nice to see that the wide receivers are getting open, especially when you have multiple options. Of course, that's pretty obvious in itself. But what that means is that your receivers are finding slips inside the defense.
So 3 on the far side. It's a run to the edge. He cuts it back up the middle and gets swarmed by a myriad of Cougars for a 3rd and short, hopefully coming up unless they, no, it will be a 2nd down, excuse me.
And Archibald, as we talked about, he's arguably the fastest running back for the Moore Park Raiders, as right there, he's very nice at reading, when it comes to reading a defense, Archibald has what we call football IQ.
So a 2nd and 6. From the 34. It's a pass. They're bringing pressure. Over the middle, a dangerous pass, and nearly picked. Nearly picked. That was number 29 for the Cougars, Aaron Pitts. Nearly on the interception there.
And that was a gutsy decision, almost a careless one in that for Johnson, as that could have been easily intercepted. Fuller was double covered in the middle of the field, which you never want to do. Lucky that Moore Park got a break on that one.
So a 3rd and 6, 5:55 to go. 3rd down again, 30% on the year, something that Moore Park will look to adjust moving forward. 3 on the near side. He's looking that way. That's number 31. Once again, Zach Jones on the reception. Is he close enough for a 1st down? We will see where they mark it. They are moving the chains. It is a 1st down. 5:51 left in the 1st quarter.
Now, one thing that should be noted when we talk about Trey Johnson is his success on the road. Now, against, 3 to 4 weeks ago when Moore Park was on the road against Cerritos, there it is, he played an exceptional game where he threw 3 touchdowns in the 4th quarter, all the 3 different receivers.
And whistles will blow. Officials will confer for a moment. Last week, Moore Park did have more total offensive plays and yards than their opponent.
Neutral zone infraction, those are those kind of plays that you can fix without the ball even being snapped. So those are the kind of mental mistakes that Moore Park has been making this year. They are starting to cut back on them, but if they want to have a victory tonight against the number 7 team in California, they're going to have to fix that.
1st and 15, 3 on the far side, 1 in motion. And the snap is away. Controlled, looking for the screen. A low throw didn't allow Dylan Lee to get upfield. 5:04, 2nd and long coming up.
Dylan Lee, their number 1 target for the Moore Park Raiders, has been rather quiet the last couple weeks, but still, without a doubt, one of the deadliest threat, if not the deadliest threat, when it comes to the receiving core for the Moore Park Raiders. Number 5.
Ends up being a loss of 2, 2nd and 17 coming up. As mentioned, last week Moore Park had more total offensive plays with 74 for a total of 342 yards than their opponent last week. So we will see if they can keep that up here today. It's a run play on 2nd down. He tries to get to the edge. He's got the edge and takes a hard hit right out of bounds. They're probably going to mark it near the 45. That is Brandon Archibald on the carry.
And he took a lick on that one. He knew it was coming, though. You saw him pop right back up to his feet, indicating that he's going to be here all night. But what a hit by the Cougars on that one. Archibald, though, as we talked about, get him to the outside, and you're going to benefit. He has the wheels that when it's these 3rd and shorts, even 3rd and mediums, rather, or intermediate, he's going to get you that 1st down to those 5 or 6 yards because he's so quick. He has that quick speed that not a lot of running backs possess.
3rd and 5 from the 45-yard line. He got the snap. He's looking over the middle. It's complete again. That's Jones. It will be a 1st down.
Jones
depending on the spot, but they appear to give him forward progress, and they are moving the chains.
Zach Jones having a drive. His third reception of the drive alone, and is the main reason why these chains have moved twice, picking up the first down on this series and on the prior series.
Important to note that with a change at quarterback, it could mean a change in a number one receiver for that option.
Right, that's a great point, Justin. As you talked about, the chemistry already seems to be developing between Trey Johnson and Zach Jones. As before, it was Isaiah Johnson and Dylan Lee.
And it is another screen, gets a block, a solid gain of 6. A methodical pace early in this game for the Raiders, second down and medium. 3:16 left in the first quarter.
This first quarter is really moving by, Justin. I mean,
no timeouts have been called yet.
Exactly, and it's all these plays have either been, pass or run. With that being said, there's not been too many incompletions or too many flags. I mean, we've only seen 2 or 3 flags this far in the game.
Something we talked about in pregame that, at least as a Moore Park squad, they needed to look at adjusting was minimizing the penalties. They have done so early in this quarter. 2 on each side, 2nd and 4. A receiver in motion coming to the near side. They're going to run to the outside again, something they are known for, and he's got the first down and then some. Another solid run.
Keep feeding Archibald. Keep feeding Archibald. They have no answer for it. As we talked about, if he's running outside the tackles, he's golden. Inside the tackles is the only kryptonite when it comes to Archibald's overall ability to succeed. But when you go to the outside, he's quick. You just saw him break a tackle, keep his balance, and ultimately pick up that first down.
The offense is in rhythm early. 2:24 left in the first. As they have a longer huddle as they try to reset personnel here. Get a play call in. Dylan Lee back in to that huddle. 3 wide receivers to the far side. And 1 in motion. And we have whistles again, and it will be a timeout taken by Moore Park. And while we have a moment, we would like to thank some of our sponsors for tonight's game. Without their help, we would not be able to have this broadcast, and we would like to thank them for their efforts, starting with U.S. Army. Go on business trips with a company like no other. U.S. Army. Big Brand Tire and Service. Big on fast, big on friendly. Wells Fargo Bank. Wells Fargo is recommitting to help all of our customers succeed financially. Wells Fargo Bank, established 1852, reestablished 2018. UCLA Health is a proud sponsor of Moore Park College Athletics, with neighborhood offices in Simi Valley, Porter Ranch, Thousand Oaks, Ventura, and Westlake Village. The very best care is now closer to you. UCLA Health, it begins with you. Pegasus Transit, we are the answer to your transportation needs. In-N-Out Burger, freshness you can taste. Simi Valley Auto Center, proud to sponsor Moore Park College Athletics. DCH Lexus of Oxnard, proudly supporting education and Moore Park College. And we are back to the action here. 2 minutes left in the first quarter. A 0-0 score early. It's a first down at the 34-yard line for the Raiders. A very methodical drive to start here in this game. And they look to the sideline for the play call at the moment. 2 wide receivers on the near side, 1 on the far side, 1 running back in the backfield. And they will hand it off right up the middle, and great penetration from the Cougar defense. And stopped right away at the line. That is number 30, Charles Ike, on the tackle. 1:46 left in the first quarter.
These Cougars are letting Archibald know they can hit. Once again, as I had talked about, Archibald inside the tackles is no good. You can't keep him inside the tackles because he's rather small and he doesn't have enough time to break through that line. Keep him on the outside where he succeeds.
So a 2nd and 12, a loss of 2 on the play. 1:25 left in the quarter. 2 wide receivers near side, 1 in motion. That's Lee, and they're going to pass it. He's looking middle, dangerous, and it's caught. Wow. In traffic and found a way to find the receiver. That is Dylan Lee. He was looking that way the whole way. It's a first down.
That was in between a very tight coverage right there. But Dylan Lee making a spectacular catch, keeping his eye on it the entire time. And Johnson seeing that very tight window and showing that next level caliber kind of talent.
So a first down with 54 seconds. Marked at the 24-yard line. Two wide receivers near side, one far side. One in the backfield again in the set. They're passing again. Johnson looks wide, and another reception.
Dylan Lee, as we talked about,
again.
been a little bit quiet the last week against El Camino, but tonight, back-to-back receptions there, back-to-back first downs on those receptions. He is definitely showing Moorpark he's ready to play tonight.
And, Nick, I want to get your thoughts on this. Do you think the quarterback change was to try and change the rhythm of this offense, as we do have a timeout? We'll get those thoughts on the other side. But while we have a moment, let's go back to our sponsors, because once again, without them, we are not able to do what we can do. And we would like to thank them for their efforts. Once again, we'll start with PennyMac. Let us tackle all your mortgage needs. PennyMac, the lender you can call home. International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Southern California Life, powered for 125 years. IBEW, local number 47, is a proud supporter of the Moorpark College Raiders. And DCH Auto Group, delivering customer happiness. And Nick, while we're back, I want to get your thoughts on that, on the idea that they have switched quarterbacks within this offense. We don't see one of the other Johnsons. It's the second of the group.
Right.
So why do you find that to be interesting?
Well, I think it's interesting for a couple of reasons. For one, I mean, it is clear that Isaiah Johnson has been the clear starter for the Moorpark Raiders the entire year. And he's proven himself. I mean, if you look at his numbers here, 7 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 966 yards. He's about to throw for 1,000 yards on the year, and we don't understand. We don't know if it's for an injury or potentially they just benched him. But whatever the reason is, Isaiah Johnson is getting the start tonight. Now, Isaiah Johnson, just 256 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions in 23 pass attempts. Now, Isaiah Johnson has 147 pass attempts to Trey Johnson's 23. But the reason why, I mean, maybe, they are 1-4 coming into this game. Maybe they want to switch it up. Isaiah Johnson has been pulling his weight, but maybe they want to try Trey out to see if they can get a different result.
And they're going to pass again. It's a screen, and it's diagnosed immediately by a swarm of Cougars. And that is going to be a loss, as Fuller took a really hard.
That was Dylan Lee, actually, that's coming off.
Took a really hard hit. And I just want to correct the record. There was no timeout on that last play. It was the end of the first quarter. We are now in the second quarter with 14:49 at the moment.
And that was a brutal hit there, but a clean hit by number 44 for the Cougars, just coming away and laying the wood there on Lee. That was Julian Lalzar.
So 2nd and 13, a loss of 3. Again, back to pass. Johnson, dangerous, it got tipped. And off the hands and incomplete. That was number 80 for the Raiders, Reese Smith, the intended receiver.
I want to apologize on the last one there. That was Julian Salazar. I don't know why I said Lalzar. That happens sometimes up here in the booth.
Transposing letters,
yes,
I'm sure.
Some dyslexia there, and I'm not even dyslexic, but that's all right.
14:30 in the second quarter. 3rd down and long for the Raiders. They are in field goal range, well inside the red zone. When you look at their stats in the red zone, they are 40%, 6 of 15. So a better clip once they get into this area.
This is a very long drive for Moorpark College.
And whistles again. False start on Mark Diaz of the Raiders will back them up even longer. It's a 3rd and 18 now with 14:27.
And one thing we had talked about, Justin, off camera was the fact that Moorpark College had really cut down on their penalties. And with that being said, they only have 2 flags coming into the second quarter. Now, I know that's not, I guess, incredible considering they could have 0, but for Moorpark College, it actually is with the amount.
It certainly
it's
has
a cut
cut them
back.
down several. They have reset the clock to 14:30.
Something else you got to think about, too, here is that this defense has to be tired for the Cougars. I mean, there's only been 2 prior drives. This is the 3rd drive of the game, and we're in the second quarter, so this is a very long drive.
Receiver in motion, a 3rd and very long. 18 yards they must pick up. He had a receiver open, and that receiver is currently asking why he didn't get the ball. Kenyon Tuskiner was open on the play, and it was not intended for him. It will be 4th down.
That was action number 84 on that one, Justin. Alex Sardi.
Sardi was wide open over the middle.
Skinner was on the field, though, as well.
14-26, and they will have to kick a field goal. Try here. Trying to get 3 on the board. And the kick is up, and it is no good. Partially tipped. And we are still scoreless with 14-21 here in the second quarter. So, Nick, for COC, they had a bit of a balance on their last possession. So how did they get into a more methodical offensive rhythm that Moore Park has shown in their second drive?
Well, I think that it all starts with their go-to guy in the run game, and that is number 1 for the Cougars, who's been having an exceptional night tonight, Caden Dunn. We've seen him on a boatload of runs that have all been successful. I don't think he's been tackled behind the line or even at the line up to this point. So I think it's got to start with reestablishing your run game and building off of there. As I am saying that, though, he is coming off the field, and in replace of him, they have another running back in there.
Armani Eden at quarterback. 3 on the far side, 1 on the near side. The give, and they are going to give it to that running back you mentioned, and he's going to get swarmed behind the line. It'll be 2nd down. That was number 26, Cyrus Zuel.
Zuel on a nice cutback right there. He saw the whole collapse. He was able to cut back and pick up a nice chunk of yards. In today's generation of football, a lot of running backs just want to cut back to be flashy or add a couple extra juke moves. But those that really understand when to cut back and open up that lane benefit every time.
So 3 in the box for the Raiders. They nearly jump. 2nd and 6 with 13:44 in the quarter. More manageable situation now as they're bringing the set closer in. Tighter bunch, and now whistles and a timeout. Now a timeout has been called. College of the Canyons will call it. And while we have a moment, let's thank some more of our sponsors, because once again, without them, we cannot have this broadcast, and we would like to thank them for their efforts as they have been helping us all year deliver for you. We're going to start with DCH Auto Group, delivering customer happiness. Corner Bakery Cafe, Simi Town Center, proud to support Moore Park College, athletics, breakfast, lunch, dinner, and catering. Matera Design Consultant, for all your design, layout, and production needs. Contact Vince Matera at vmatera@earthlink.net. Matera Design Consultant. Los Robles Health System has been your source for your family's health care for more than 50 years. Award-winning care closer to home. And we are back now as there's 13:33 left in the second quarter. Scoreless game, 2nd and 6 from the 24-yard line. They're bringing pressure, they disguise, and they pull back. It's a run up the middle, and diagnosed immediately. It will be a 3rd down and medium for the Cougars. So with this 3rd down, it may be an obvious passing situation. They could go with a running back draw. 13:04 and ticking.
And remember, Eden is a dual threat as well, leading the team with 4 rushing touchdowns on the year and over 180 yards rushing as well.
And it's a pass play. They're looking short. They deliver, and it will be a 1st down and then some with a broken tackle to the 34-yard line. There is a flag on the play. We will see what it's about in just a moment. And they're calling a holding on the offense. That was number 74 on the hold, Jordan Palmer.
Moore Park lucky to come away with a break on that one. That was just a missed opportunity on an open field tackle. That is where these linebackers really earn their scholarship, is open field tackling, because a lot of time as a linebacker, you're not only just going up against running backs, but sometimes tight ends or wide receivers. Guys are a lot quicker and faster than you, and you have to be able to make those open field tackles.
3rd and 15, 12:29 left in the second quarter. They get the snap away. Looking long, complete, and he's got space, and he breaks a tackle, stays on his feet, and is brought down north of the 50. They're going to mark it at around the 37-yard line. A big completion there to number 2 for COC, Alonzo Henderson on the reception.
Alonzo Henderson, what a grab, and woo, his wheels started flying once he got a hold of that ball right there.
And they are north of the 50 with 12:03 to go. What a big completion could spark this offense now.
Henderson comes into this game leading the team with 21 receptions.
It's another pass. He's got to scramble out of the pocket. Now he launches. He's got a man, comes back and drops the ball. A wide open completion would have been a first down.
That was number 15 there, the intended receiver. Those are give me opportunities. You cannot drop a ball like that if it's given right to you. Trey, long strength on that one. But as I had talked about, Lonzel Henderson, who had that remarkable reception right there, comes in leading the team with 21 receptions and receiving yards with 422. So he is, without a doubt, their number 1 receiver. So look for him all night to have a game. Number 2 for the Cougars.
2nd and 10 from the 38, 11:49 to go. They pitch it. He takes it back up the middle, breaks a couple of tackles, and makes a much better run out of something that wasn't there.
Once again, Zuel on that great cutback.
Yes.
Once again, seeing that lane open up. Something that he seems to be or starting to have mastered here as in the running back position. That's the second time tonight that he's turned a cutback into a gain of 5.
3rd down and 5, 11:24 to go. Scoreless game, marked at the 33. Could go many options here. Could go with a run or a pass from where they are on this field at the moment. They're bringing pressure. Picked up well. And a wide open and thrown just a smidge high, and the quarterback will want that pass back. Armani will want to have a do-over if he could. 11:04 left. It's 4th and 5. And we'll see what they choose to do here. They, at the moment, are leaving the offense out on the field.
And I don't even think you could blame Armani on that one. It hit Henderson right in the hands. That's a give me. I mean, the play before should have been a give me, but that was that could have been a touchdown. No one was within 10 yards of Henderson right there, as it looked like the DB had got tripped up on the play.
And they're bringing out the field goal unit for a long possible field goal try. 48 yards. Does he have the leg? And flags. And this may change the play call. It's a delay a game on the offense. It backs him up of 5 more yards, and this may change the decision for the staff at the moment. It'll be 4th and 10.
And he had the leg for it. He's still going for it.
They're still going for it.
That's a 53-yard attempt. This is huge.
From the 38-yard line. This will be an impressive feat if delivered upon here. Snap is good. The hold. He's got. It's just no good. Inches.
Wow.
From the uprights.
Wow.
Those 5 yards making a very large difference. That penalty keeps the game scoreless with 10:58.
Penalties really do cost points, and right there you saw it firsthand. This was 5 yards shorter. He would have had the length for it, but right there, that was inches, as you said, Justin. You still got to tip your hat to the fact that he came that close on a 53-yard attempt. That's something that most NFL players can't make on a regular basis, let alone a junior college athlete.
And Moore Park will now start in solid territory. Once again at their own 38 now. 10:58 left in the second. 2 wide receivers on each side. Scoreless game, 1 in motion. They're going to give. It's Skinner. And he's got a solid gain out of bounds. It'll be 2nd and short coming up, 10:51.
Something that's a little ironic. This is only the 5th drive of the game with just 10 minutes and 51 remaining in the second quarter, but both teams mirroring each other on their outcomes. Moore Park started with their first drive, ending their first drive with the punt, so did COC. Moore Park failed their field goal attempt, so did COC. So far, they've matched each other on every series.
10:36. The snap is away. Going outside the numbers. Beautiful pass. Short gain.
Dylan Lee on the reception there.
Going to mark him out. It'll be a 3rd and short coming up. 10:29 to go. It'll be a 3rd and 2nd and 2. Excuse me.
I think it should be noted that though Moore Park hasn't scored yet thus far in the game, Trey Johnson, just his composure, if you watch him, he's playing very calm right now.
3rd and 2. They're going with a pass. And another one solidly inside the numbers. That's Lee on the reception again. It's a 1st down. They're moving the chains. 10:06 and yet another methodical drive put up by this offense.
One thing that I think Moore Park understands that they can do to the COC defense with Dylan Lee is that they can put him in these basically just hitches, long hitches, 5-10 yard hitches, where he's not really cutting off or going either direction. He's just kind of going straight forward and stopping because Cougars are playing zone coverage right now, pardon me.
Skinner in motion. And now it's a run. It's Meeks, and he gets crushed. Absolutely walloped. Short gain, if anything. Well read by the COC defense.
Once again, number 44 coming in there, Julian Salazar. 2nd big hits now. He's going to put that on his highlight reel. First time tonight we've seen Meeks as well in the backfield.
So, no appearance of Bata yet in this game. It does mean that Meeks and Archibald will be getting more of the carries. 9:01 and ticking, still scoreless, 2nd and 10 from the 47. Receiver in motion. They give to Meeks. He's got a solid gain, close to a 1st down with a flag.
One thing that I like on that call there is the fact that they went right back to Meeks. A lot of times when a running back takes a hit like that, they lose confidence. So to give him the ball right back again, it gets his body to have some short-term memory loss as he's able to just get right back in there, take another hit, and not be all in his head about how he got his bell rung the play prior.
Would you say it helps him actually not feel what that hit
Exactly,
might be
yeah.
like?
Yeah.
10-yard holding call on the offense. It's going to move him backwards, so it'll negate the run. But, Nick, back to what you were saying.
Right. It would be the same thing as if you wanted to, and I guess analogy as a receiver is if, a receiver dropped a wide open pass and, or maybe not a wide open pass, but dropped an easy catch, and then the next play you went right back to him. What you're doing is you're forcing him to have short-term memory because you're building a good play off of bad play.
So 2nd and 20 now. They're no longer north of the 50. It'll be a long pass play. They're looking to get it all back now and off the hands. And the receiver wants it back. That could have been a touchdown. And he's got his hands on his head. It'll be a 3rd and long. It's Dylan Lee. He's the #1 guy in terms of receiving normally on this offense.
Definitely. And Trey Johnson with a dime dropper just over the hands of the defender on that one. Lee knows that would have been a touchdown if he got that.
8:27, 3rd and 20. Lee
right there on that one, as you could see.
And while we have a timeout, we would like to thank some more of our sponsors, because once again, without their help, this broadcast would not be possible. We would like to thank them for their efforts. Let's start with Los Robles Health System. Has been your source for your family's health care for more than 50 years. Award-winning care closer to home. Custom Pie in the bar next door. Wood-only oven pizzas. 17 craft beers on tap. Wine by the glass. Appetizers, pasta, salad, and more. Home of the Raider Happy Hour after each home football game. Marketplace, official supplier of trophies, awards, gifts, and apparel of Moore Park College Athletics since 2007. Coca-Cola celebrates helping athletes power through with Powerade. Corporate Graphics Communications, official signage company of Moore Park College Athletics. Jan's Marketplace, cheers to a successful season. Proudly supporting Moore Park College Athletics. The Hat Restaurant in Simi Valley. Since 1951, 68 years of serving the world-famous pastrami, burgers, dogs, chili. Open 7 days from 10 a.m. to 11 p.m. www.thehat.com, and we are back. And the pass, no, it's a delayed handoff and right up the middle. He's got room to run. A right up Broadway run, north of the 50. They're marking him at the 39. That's a big gain on third down. He's close to the first down. They will not give it to him. It will be 4th and 2. We will see what they do on this next call.
Archibald up the middle, one of the few times it works, and guess why? No one's in the middle. That was a great delayed read right there on the run, as he's so quick right there, running straight up the middle, didn't have to make a cut or a move, and he was able to get full momentum as they're going to go for it here on 4th down.
They're keeping the offense out there, 0-0 score, north of the 50. It's a pass, and batted away. Beautiful play by the Cougar defense.
Salazar once again coming up with a huge play. Not this time, not a hit, but rather a nice pass deflection.
That is a key moment in this game. A turnover on down with 7:44 left in the second quarter. So COC will now take over on offense, basically nearly where Moorpark took over on their previous possession when they started that drive. 1st and 10 from the 39. And somebody looked like they jumped. We'll see if it's offense or defense. Officials are chatting. See if somebody was drawn off or if they went of their own accord.
So far, both teams defensively have been playing exceptional tonight, and it's shown as they're still scoreless late, halfway through the second.
Offsides on Eric Mateo of the defense. 7:44 left, a 1st and 5. They will move the ball to the 44-yard line. So near midfield, a prime opportunity for the Cougars offense to get some points on the board here. Crucial juncture of the game. It's a run, breaks it outside. Great read by number 21 of the defense, Peyton Shelton. Coming up with that open field tackle, negates a possible 1st down opportunity. It's 2nd down.
Peyton Shelton, the veteran on that secondary, coming up with a key play right there, especially as a safety. When you're able to read a run like that, it's definitely going to get you some looks because you have that sports IQ that most secondary athletes don't really have, or want to, most secondary players don't want to lay a hit as well.
7:12 to go. And a pitch. They're giving it off. Outside, he's got blockers, and it will be a 1st down. That is number 1. Caden Dunn on the carry. 7:05 left in the second. Still a scoreless game.
And as you had asked me, Justin, what is it going to take for Canyons to have success that Moorpark did offensively early on in the game? It starts with that man right there, number 1, Caden Dunn, getting it done as he's coming off the field on this one.
They haven't really given it to him often yet in this game. More pass heavy during this half. A new running back in, but they will pass it again this time. And the pocket collapses. He's got to step up. He runs, and it's picked. It is picked. Prime real estate. He's got room. He's got a blocker. He's still on his feet, and he's in plus territory. The Moorpark Raider defense. That is number 18, Colby Williams on the pick.
Colby Williams gave it right to him. I don't think you could ask for a better ball thrown right to him. That was a great job by the linebacking core of the Moorpark Raiders to put some pressure there on Eden on that one, but threw it right to Colby Williams. He should have had a pick 6 on that one. He had one man to beat on that, Justin, but Eder was able to lay a tackle. He actually was hurting a little bit after that hit, but that's what you got to do defensively. Moorpark's defense really stepping up tonight here against the number 7 team in California.
So now Moorpark in plus territory. So they will have a blind side block on Moorpark. It will back them up.
Those are very common for interceptions because you're changing direction in such a quick instance, that a blindside block, most of the time it's almost unintentional. You go from being a receiver to being a defender or vice versa. So
I got a question. Did they move the ball back to the spot of the foul because where they marked on the interception, unless I saw something wrong, they moved it back 15 from the spot of the foul, and they are now in their own territory marked at the 30-yard line. So they have negated the interception return yardage and brought it all the way back. Something that Moore Park, that could be a killer penalty to start this drive early for them.
Something they should take into condition for our viewers at home, just so they have an idea of the weather conditions here tonight.
So 6:33 left in the second quarter, a receiver in motion, and they're going to give it off. It's Meeks. He's got to run up the middle. He's got a solid gain of about 6. 6:25 left. 2nd and 4 coming up. Moore Park hasn't had a lot of penalties early in this game, but the penalties they have had have been killer ones on many of their possessions. 6:02, ticking away. It's 2nd and 4, 3 wide receivers. They have one in motion. It's a give again. Looking up the middle, breaks a couple tackles and gets a first down. So 5:50 with a first down. That is again Meeks on the carry.
Meeks starting to build that confidence after that big hit that he took earlier in the last drive against Salazar. He's really been he's really been stepping up and picking up first downs for the Moore Park Raiders. I'm curious to see when they'll go back to Archibald, because Archibald as well was having a rather productive run at it.
So they mark the ball at the 42. 2 wide receivers near side, and somebody jumped again. Looked like number 80, Reese Smith, went early. We'll see what they call here. Instead, they call false start on number 64 of the Raiders. That is Jacob Andrade.
One thing that we should let our viewers know, just because, of course, they're not here physically, it is 65 degrees with a 15-mile-an-hour wind chill, so that's definitely going to have a factor on how this ball's thrown, as well as the kicking conditions. We saw a couple of missed field goals as well.
Another false start penalty. That's number 77, Mark Diaz, and that's now 10 yards within 2 penalties on back-to-back plays. 1st and 20, 5:12 to go. They've marked the ball at the 33 of the Raiders. Still scoreless.
Now, with these weather conditions being the way they are, you should take into account that these players that aren't on the field, especially the Cougar offense, they're starting to get cold. Their body really starts to shut down when you've been off the field as long as they have.
Dylan Lee in motion. They're going to give it off. He tries to break it to the outside and contained well by the Cougar defense. Right there, that was number 11 on the tackle, Ryan Haith. Listed as a safety, but came up to make that tackle right there. 4:31 in the second quarter. 2nd down and very long. Moore Park offense has stalled because of those penalties following the interception. 2nd and 24. That was a loss of 4 on the play. They split out Archibald and another flag. That will be, if it is, that's Diaz again. That's his 2nd penalty on the drive. That's the 3rd false start alone on this drive. 4:04 left in the second quarter. The time to score would be now if you're the Raiders. You don't want to leave as much time on the clock for the Cougars.
As we talked about, those flags were looking, maybe we spoke too soon. They only had 2 flags with about 8 minutes left in the second quarter. Since then, they've had a multitude of flags. In fact, 6 in the last 6 minutes.
Dylan Lee in motion. It was a low snap, but handled okay. And he tries to break it to the outside, and he gets a couple of the yards back. It will be a 3rd and long. We'll see if they choose to go with a conservative play call. And we got the broadcaster's jinx up here. Nick?
I don't want to blame us. Hey, I'm not that superstitious.
Spoke too soon, and all of a sudden we've seen
I
three
guess
penalties.
so. I guess so, though, huh? I mean, it really starts with the offensive line. These kind of penalties are 100% in your own capability. It's not an in-play penalty pre-snap penalties are the most obnoxious and the most detrimental because before the ball's even snapped, of course, you're already putting your team back, whether 5, 10, 15 yards. So they really have to cut back. This offensive line needs to get more disciplined.
3:06 and whistles will blow. It is a timeout taken by Moore Park. And while we have a moment, let's thank the rest of our sponsors here tonight. Without them, we would not be able to have this broadcast, and we'd like to thank them for always supporting us. Ladin Auto Group, featuring Subaru, family owned and operated for over 45 years. Always close to home, located in the Thousand Oaks Auto Mall, Ladin Subaru. Meathead Movers, don't settle for anything less than the best. Meathead Movers, proudly serving Ventura County since 2007. Stonefire Grill, where community is served. Dine-in, takeout, delivery, and catering. Proudly supporting Moore Park College athletics. College football is here. Celebrate with Chick-fil-A, Sycamore Square in Simi Valley. And eat, drink, play at Dave & Buster's in Thousand Oaks. Again, thank you to all of our sponsors. We would like your efforts to be shown here tonight. And Nick, while we have a moment and the both teams are huddling, has COC caught a break in terms of these penalties? Because Moore Park has played very, very well, but they've had a couple of lucky opportunities with regards to these calls and also some defensive play as well.
I think they've caught a break, definitely. I think Moore Park's momentum has been shattered since those 3 back-to-back-to-back false start calls. But I do think that they are also playing well. I mean, if you look at the score here, they haven't allowed, as well as Moore Park's play, they haven't played well enough because they have yet to score a single point. So some credit you have to give to the Cougars, but yes, Moore Park has definitely shot themselves in the foot.
In terms of penalties coming into this week, Moore Park has 65 for a total of 515 yards coming into this game. A receiver in motion. It will be a pass. And a dangerous one, and it's picked. That pass is picked. And now El Camino will start in plus territory. I'm sorry, College of the Canyons. El Camino was last week.
That was Ryan Haith on the interception there. Johnson tried to throw it in between 2 receivers and ended up throwing it into the defender's hands. When two receivers are that close together, especially with a defender in the way, it almost always ends up being an interception or at the very least an incompletion.
So thrown into double coverage, and now COC with an opportunity with 2:58 to go, left in the second quarter, and a 0-0 score to get some points on the board. Three wide receivers near side. Armani, the signal caller. He's going to give it off. Tries to sell it and does. A couple of broken tackles and a very nice run near a first down. 2:49 left here in the second quarter. They are in plus territory, knocking on field goal range. Second and about a yard with 2:31. See how methodical COC chooses to be here. It's a pass, it's a screen, got a blocker, trying to follow his man, gets to the outside and almost gets dragged down from behind the jersey, and one of the coaches hopping mad. He wanted a flag and didn't get one.
He was looking for that horse collar,
yes.
That horse collar right there, but Moore Park lucky they didn't get it on that one. Colby Williams coming in on that tackle there. And they're marking him, it looks to be. They're going to mark him short.
They're going to mark
so,
it short.
Wow.
It will be a 3rd and inches.
And that's what we had talked about. We had talked about number 26 for the Cougars out. He's so great at cutting back and knowing when to come back, Zuel. But when it comes to number 4 for the Cougars, he did the complete opposite. North, east, west, and wasn't able to pick up a single yard on that because of his indecision.
Henderson going to the far side. We'll see if they look to key him in here. Instead, it's a handoff. They're trying to punch it in up the middle, and he will appear to have enough to move the chains. Yes, they will move the chains. It's a first down for the Cougars. 1:44 left. Knocking on the door of field goal range, especially with the leg of that kicker we had seen earlier. Tried from 48, a 5-yard penalty, made it back to 53. He missed it, and that is why we are still scoreless at the moment. 1:29 left in the quarter. And a screen. Inside bubble. They get a few. It'll be second down. And about 8.
Ivory Jackson was in on that tackle. Someone that's been silent tonight. We haven't called his name once yet, whether it's because they haven't run to his side or he hasn't been able to get on any big plays. He is a huge part of the puzzle to the Moore Park defense, and he's been rather quiet tonight. So look for him to have a big impact going into the second half.
And it's a pass. They were looking deep, possibly end zone. There's people trying to scream they're open, and he goes short. And a nice check down to one of his receivers right there. That's Alonzel Henderson again, a name we've called a lot. And now Canyons will look to spend whatever timeouts they do have remaining with 49 seconds left in the half.
That should be their last one of the half.
So, Nick, a couple of interceptions and a couple of missed field goals really have been the difference in this game to this point. Is there anything that either of these offenses will look to change, or are they going to stick to the same game plan heading into the next half?
Well, I think that definitely when the score is the way it is, that both teams are going to make crucial adjustments because they have nothing to go off of. They have a couple of nice plays. I mean, Canyons had that nice throw to Henderson. There was about a nice 40 50-yard bomb. Yeah.
Yes.
So, I mean, there's some positives, but ultimately nothing that they can really hardwire because they don't have any success. They haven't had enough success to be, to basically go, hey, we can build off of this pass play, or we can build off of these runs, or these blitz packages are working. So both teams are going to probably do a 180 coming into the second half. But sometimes 180s can be good. El Camino, second half against Moore Park, got them the victory. Sometimes they can be bad. Moore Park, second half against El Camino.
And so now they are inside the 20. Oh, and it's a muff snap. And now Armani's just going to fall on it. Lucky break for the Cougars. A nearly fatal miscalculation to end this half with 41 and ticking. This could be, you may be looking at a field goal try unless they choose to take a shot at the end zone. It is 4th down, so.
They might just run. I mean, the difference between the Gamecock and the Playcock is about 6 seconds for our viewers at home.
Well, the question is, if they have another timeout to spend, they will run the clock down and then call it, but it appears that they do not. So, wow. This is actually very interesting. I would think that they would want to take the points, and yet they are letting this clock run down.
Looks like they're going to take the timeout maybe and use the flag as their timeout.
Oh, so they're taking a delay of game. I see now.
Exactly.
They're taking a delay of game to stop the clock. They did have a timeout. See, I was wondering.
The scoreboard said otherwise, but.
Yes. I was wondering, I'm like, they were letting the clock run down, and at some point I thought they may either spike the ball or if they had that timeout to use, they would use it, and they have done so with 5 seconds left here in the half. So it will be a field goal attempt. Once again, we saw the kicker miss from 40. It was originally 48, back up to 53 after a false start penalty. So he has the leg from this distance. The question is, can his aim stay true? As we head to the half,
and that's going to be
is looking to get up at least by 3.
Tanner Brown was the one that had the leg, barely missed a 53-yarder. This should be a chip shot right here.
And Moore Park sideline is screaming as loud as they can, trying to affect this kick. 4th and 9 as it stands. Snap, hold, the kick is up, and it's got plenty of leg. That is good. That could have been good from another 5 yards easy.
What a leg. That kid's going to get a scholarship with a leg like that.
There's 1 second left on the clock.
And there's a flag.
And there is a flag. Late. This could once again be negated if it is on COC. We'll see. It's on. So it is on the defense. It's an illegal formation. The penalty has been declined. The kick is good with 1 second left in this half. The Cougars are up 3-0, but in some ways you may consider this a win for the Moore Park defense and the entire team as a whole.
Well, I was almost surprised that we were about to see a scoreless half, Justin. The fact that both defenses have been playing so well and both offenses haven't been playing well enough to finish drives has really been rather interesting to watch. I mean, for anyone that really appreciates the game of football, to see a scoreless first half is definitely not boring. In fact, it's rather tremendous that you would even see something like that happen because it just shows how both defenses are persevering so much.
It also makes for a more intriguing second half coming up. With 1 second left, look for this to be maybe even a squib kick, and we will head to half with this game at a 3-0 clip here. So what do you think both teams should adjust? Because we've seen, for majority, we've seen a short passing game. And there was a couple of big pass plays, but really the penalties have been killers, and also there's been a couple of interceptions. So it's been an uneven start to this game.
I think that a lot of things go into account, but I think that the main reason is that, we'll tell you right after this kick.
And it will be blown dead. And that's the half, folks. So it's a 3-0 score for the Cougars. A win for both sides on defense. And, Nick, once again, we were just trying to wrap that up. So what do both teams look to adjust? Because both game plans say that at the moment, their short passing game, they are still marking that there's 1 second left on the clock. So the ball was kicked out of bounds. It must have been rolled out near the sideline, and that's why they've kept 1 second on the clock. So it'll be marked at the spot, and they will have to run one play. Look for them to just take a knee here and head to half.
Those plays are always the most annoying because, yes, to be technical, yes, you do have to have a second back on the clock, but come on, you know what they're both going to do. A lot of times in football, it's like very frustrating. It's almost like having to drive your little sister to school or something. I don't know what to compare it to, but it's like that. We know what they're going to do. There's no need for it, but, of course, we have to have every second accounted for.
I can't relate at all, so we will head to half. It's a 3-0 game here for COC. And, Nick, we've been trying to wrap this up for about 5 minutes
For 5 plays now, right?
So as we head to half, like I said, we've seen short passing games. We've seen a couple of big plays. It's been sort of an uneven for both sides. What do they look to clean up heading into the second stand?
Well, we'll go ahead and start with the Cougars first. Offensively, Caden Dunn was a nice part of their offense. And so he went down with that knee injury. He was, on the sideline for our viewers that can't see on the camera. He was down here on the track kind of running it out, trying to jog it out, maybe get that muscle, some blood flow into it. But Cyrus Zoll came in, number 26, and has been having a phenomenal game. One of the best cutback running backs that I've seen in some time here broadcasting for this program. But where they can improve on is getting these easy receptions. I mean, we saw Henderson drop a couple of easy bombs along with a couple other wide receivers that had give me touchdowns and at the very minimum first downs, and they weren't able to get it done. We look at Moore Park. Defensively, they've done almost everything they can. In fact, the fact that they even scored right now, they allowed the 3 points to score was because Moore Park's offense gave them such horrible field position inside their own 30-yard line. So the defense is firing, but what they could really work on is learning how to contain some of these wide receivers that the Canyons have been. They've been beating them on routes defensively. A lot of coverages have been blown by Moore Park's defense. They've been catching a lot of breaks with flags and missed opportunities. So second half, Moore Park has to tighten down on their man coverage and as well as their zone coverage. The Cougars, on the other hand, need to keep establishing the run game.
And there you have it. So we will see you in about 20 minutes for the start of the second half. As it stands right now, the Cougars lead it 3-0. See you in a few, everybody. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to your coverage of Moore Park Raider football here on the Moore Park Raider live stream, where Moore Park is taking on College of the Canyons here tonight. We are here for the second half. College of the Canyons leads 3-0. And as we look at some of the first half stats, we talked about the passing yards. So for College of the Canyons, COC had 23 passing attempts for 113 yards in the first half. And in terms of Moore Park, they had, I'm trying to read it here. Give me a second. And we're going to get set for kickoff. 33 for 137. 33 for 137. So both teams over 100 yards in passing. As we get set here, the kick is away. It's a pooch kick. Short kick. Wonder if that was by design. It will set up COC with solid field position as we start the third quarter. 14:58. And they look to capitalize on that 3-0 lead early by getting some points on the board in their first possession of the second half.
That was Troy Smith on the tackle there. The third-string quarterback coming in with a hit. I saw him pop up pretty hyped up on that one, showing that he's very versatile, as you can put him in on kickoff as well, and that they don't mind him too much getting banged up.
So, Nick, I want to get your thoughts. We talked about Caden Dunn early in this game and in the open as well. He's only had 5 carries for 25 yards. So do they look to use him more in this half? As we get set for the first play here, it's a pitch over the middle, complete, and a solid gain of 5 up to about the 40-yard line.
Triple option read on there. I respect the call on that one. It makes it very hard for a defense to cover that. With that being said, Justin, yeah, you're right, only 25 yards. Of course, we didn't see the stats at the time, so I had assumed he had more yards. And just the way that the defense was playing to Dunn, they're definitely respecting him, trying to play back a little bit. I thought that he was a large key, but apparently, as the stats say, that he wasn't too big of a help, but he's still averaging 5 yards a carry, so he's still a large part of this offense.
Another run up the middle and breaking a couple of tackles, contained well by the Moore Park D. A hard throwdown there at the end of the play.
But what should be noted is coming into this game, he was the #1 leading rusher for the team, and only with 302 yards, and only #2 in touchdowns rushing behind Eden with 3 rushing touchdowns. So he is a big part of this offense overall, just hasn't been heard too much tonight.
In terms of all the rushing yards, it's been pretty even between both backs within Zuel and Dunn. Zuel has had 5 carries for 22 yards, so pretty even on the averages between both backs they've been utilized today. Not often, but within a specific set. 13:41 here in the third quarter, 3-0 game. It's a pass, scrambling out of the pocket. Pressure's coming. The throw is low. An adjustment was tried and completed to Amari Smith. Good adjustment there. They will move the chains. They call it a catch. It's a first down.
Amari Smith, nice, just sitting right there in the middle of the field. That's an easy catch. One that he dropped an easy one earlier in the first half. It's nice to see that he's getting that confidence back, making those key plays.
Oh, and nearly jumped. They're going deep. Little long. Wow, he had a touchdown written all over that one and just led his receiver just a smidge too far.
That was long strength on that one. And he also had #2 open as well. Henderson, who's been having a game tonight. He had 2 wide receivers open right there, had him beat on that coverage deep. And as we talked about in the first half, Moore Park has to get better at their pass coverage. And in fact, it's been the kryptonite for the defense this entire season is their defense in the pass game.
You talked about Henderson having a solid game. 3 receptions for 56 yards. His long was 47 on that big pass play early in the first half. Average of 18.6. Another pass play, 2nd and 10, going over the middle, complete. He's got space. He's got a lane. He is in for the touchdown. COC, the big score early, is exactly what they were looking for.
Trayvon Elliott on that one, right down the seam, so fast that even the secondary couldn't catch up to him. That's what you call elusive speed right there.
So a big touchdown, exactly what they talked about probably in that locker room. A 9-0 game, 13:09, extra point on the way.
And those second half adjustments, Justin, as we had said, doing a 180 can either be a good thing or a bad thing depending on what the end of the game shows. Right now, COC definitely made some heads-up adjustments that have led to their first touchdown of the game.
And kicking, Tanner Brown gets it up and in. He missed a field goal again from 53 earlier. 1 of 2, as long as 44, but he's able to convert the extra point there. So 10-0 the score with 13:09 as now Moore Park will look to answer on their first possession of the second half. When it comes to kickoff returns, Alex Sardi, the primary, at least in this game, 19 yards on one of his returns. That's his long, so they've contained the coverage unit for special teams, has COC here. We'll see if it's Trey Johnson coming back out or if they go to Isaiah here in the second half.
And I think Trey Johnson, minus that 1 interception, he's had a rather, he's had
solid game.
A solid first half. Passing-wise in the first half alone, he had a rather admirable first half. He was 12 for 18 on attempts per completion. 12 completions on 18 attempts. but only 69 yards. So he hasn't been throwing any long balls that have been completed. He's hit a couple that were right through the hands of Dylan Lee.
Well, but that also plays into Moore Park's style. They do have a short passing game.
Right.
And it opens up the run for them and vice versa. As we get ready for this kickoff, again, Moore Park looking to answer. And it's away. Deep to receive. And there he's going to take it from the goal line and get stuffed before the 20. Great special team coverage from College of the Canyons.
Marquis Morgan, number 50, was the one on that hit. One thing you really have to respect, and I think it's obvious when you watch this Cougar defense, is that they are very aggressive, but on top of that, and more importantly, they know how to tackle properly. You see them lower their shoulder, lead with their head, and wrap up. Wrapping up is something that Moore Park has had trouble with in the past that has really affected them negatively. So seeing that a team can wrap up and lay the wood is always a key sign that they're going to have a great defensive season.
Looks like the other Johnson is in. They're going to give, and it's an option, and it's a run up the middle, possibly a design play call to start this half. 12:56, 10-0 Cougars. Sort of a deceiving score considering the play in terms of evenness on offense.
Right, and the fact that Isaiah Johnson's in there for the first time tonight, rather confusing too. I'm not going to lie. I thought before the first half was over, I thought that maybe Johnson was hurt because of the fact that he wasn't playing. I was surprised that they just benched him.
Do you think this was planned in terms of one quarterback for each half? Obviously, we can't speculate.
But if I could give my honest opinion,
right.
I think that it was not. I don't think this was planned. I think that something had to have happened in the locker room that they might have decided to go with Johnson. Maybe I do think that they probably had a QB rotation in, but Trey having enough success every drive for them to stay persistent, I think that's why we saw Trey Johnson the entire first half.
So it's a very short gain. It'll be a third down early on this drive. Once again, they're not at the 25-yard line. They're backed up in their own zone a little bit. 11:56 here in the third, 10-0 Cougars. 3rd and 7 from the 16. Passing situation, 3 on the far side. They're going to move 1 in motion. It's going to be a pass over the middle. High tip and juggled. Incomplete.
I have never in all of my years seen a ball go so high on a pass deflection. That looked like it jumped straight off of a trampoline. That should be a give me with 7 yellow pairs of pants all around there.
Well,
Moore Park, lucky to come away on that one.
We've seen in both Division I college football and the NFL, it's widely considered that the easiest interceptions come off tip drills, what they call it, because it's easy to grab once it's up in the air. So it will be a punt, 4th and 7. It's away, it's short, and very short. They're going to mark it north of the 50, and COC is going to get some great starting field position on this possession. 11:28, and they're looked to add on to their lead, not the way that the Raiders wanted to start this half.
That was Steve Vasquez on that punt. Very shallow. It's going to give, as you talked about, Justin, it's going to give the Cougars excellent field position as they're already coming off a hot drive, now forcing a 3 and out. The Cougars definitely got the momentum on their side and look to build off it on this drive.
So Moore Park's defense will look to sort of play hero early in this half, trying to keep this game manageable. So 3 wide receivers set for the Cougars, 2 in the backfield. Armani, the give, they're going wide. Does he have the edge? And he gets a nice solid gain of about 6. That's number 25, Jordan Anderson on the carry.
Anderson, someone that we haven't seen too much tonight.
Even with a 10-0 lead, you think they're going to use players that we haven't called?
Not necessarily backups, but rotation players, yes. Maybe guys that we'd see. Brandon Archibald could fit in that category before tonight. I mean, most of the time it was Bada or Meeks and Archibald over here and there. So they're going to use what they can to get the win.
And it's going to be a quarterback throw and a beautiful pass. That's number 2 on the reception.
Henderson once again.
Henderson, he's had a game. He's been their primary receiver tonight.
He had 56 yards that you guys talked about earlier on.
He's averaging 18.6 on this game. So he's their long threat, although the long pass also did go to him, the 47-yarder. So he's their deep man as well.
the wind has definitely been picking up here. Look to see if it's a factor for tonight's game.
And they're going long and way wide, and a flag is thrown late. Miscommunication on the offensive side of the ball there. See what this flag is about.
It's going to be the first flag of the half.
10-16 left in the third, 10-0 game. And it's on the defense, so that'll move the ball further in the red zone. So they will mark it at the 11. So just outside of what's considered goal to go. It'll be 1st and 10. 10 yards would mean that they will be marked at the 1-yard line. Looking to capitalize on the 3 and out and the plus territory they were given. COC. And the ball is nearly bobbled and fumbled but secured. And he tries to get to the edge, and a gain of about 4.
Zuel right there.
Zuel again.
The cutback king, as I like to call him. Just lowering his shoulder on that one and picking up 5-6 yards on the carry.
He now leads the game in carries for the Cougars, surpassing Caden Dunn, who we spoke about earlier. 9:47 and ticking. It's 2nd down and 6. They'll mark it at the 7. It's another run. He's trying to cut it back up the middle, and Moore Park had it snuffed out, and good pursuit by the D. That is number 8 for the Raiders, Antoine Wynn, a name we haven't said yet today.
Antoine Wynn, another huge part of that defensive line. But right there, as I talked about earlier on in the game, Justin, not wrapping up. I wasn't able to see what player it was from the Moore Park defense. Laid a huge hit there on Zell.
It was Antoine Wynn on the tackle.
But prior to the tackle, there was a nice hit.
Okay.
And the shoulders, you didn't see the arms wrapped around. A lot of these players, you know, they have so much confidence, which is great in their ability to, you know, lay the hit, lay the force with their shoulder pads. But they don't understand that a lot of these players are going to bounce off that. That's why you have to wrap up and drive them down.
No defensive touchdowns on the year for this Raiders defense. They are trying to keep him out of the end zone here. Tried to get the corner, and a great contain by the Moore Park secondary, able to get him away from the end zone. It will be 4th down. And what will the Cougars do? Will they choose to go for it?
No doubt in my mind they go for it.
And it appears they're leaving their offense out there. Some may consider it a gamble, but with a 10-0 lead, why not? 8:27 to go. So, and now they will send the field goal unit out. Maybe thinking better of it is that staff trying to keep points on the board. 8-12, 4th and 2. It's marked at the 3. Kick is up. The kick is easily through the uprights. It's 13-0 Cougars. They are up by now at least 2 touchdowns. So, but a good stand by the Moore Park Raider defense there, keeping this game manageable at 13-0, giving their offense a shot to get back into this game. Do we see the other Johnson, or is it Isaiah for the rest of this one?
I think that you stick with Isaiah for a couple of drives. The fact that you even brought him in for one drive and then to just pull him would not make much sense, and it would destroy the confidence of Isaiah Johnson, especially when we're talking about a guy that has 7 touchdowns, only 2 interceptions, over 100. The first, up to this point, as far as you know, coming into this game, the only still 100-yard rusher that Moore Park has.
But would you say it ruins chemistry in terms of, because you had
right? I mean, yeah, and it definitely does. If you look at El Camino, of course, they kind of got it done the second half with Neveo, but they had a dual quarterback system technically, and you could see anytime the number 2 would go in that the chemistry was off. I think that most dual quarterback systems are horrible because you can't develop one quarterback. So, but with that being said, you got to stick with Isaiah Johnson for a couple of series.
Then the kick is away, fielded at the goal line. He will take it out and try to get to the outside and get out of bounds at about the 15. Can't get to the 20-yard line once again. We saw how hard, and a player is down for it appeared he probably was complaining for a flag of some kind, but did not get one.
He was looking for a unnecessary roughness at the end, but the whistle, they both stopped.
So they will start north of the 20 again, and when they did that on their last drive, it ended in a punt. So we will see
One unsung hero for tonight's game, number 13 for the Cougars, Tanner Brown. Not only is he great at field goals, but also pinning the returning team in horrible field position. Sardi took that ball at the 1-yard line on that last play.
And it is a run and stuffed immediately. Stuffed immediately by the Cougars defense. They stopped them behind the line, 7:46. And ticking here in the third quarter. This defense has been stout all game for the Cougars, holding the Raiders scoreless. 2nd and 14, now marked at the 10. They're going backwards. 3 wide receivers near side. Isaiah Johnson now manning the controls. Snap is away. They're looking sideline. It's trouble! And nearly picked again. Dangerous pass intended for Lee.
I don't know what he's thinking on that one. He's double covered, and he's right by the sideline. If anything, just throw it out of bounds or have your receiver get it. There's a saying that if your receiver can't get it, then make sure that nobody can. Right there, he threw it inbound still, and in between 2 defenders. That was lucky it wasn't intercepted. And I know that as you talked about chemistry, Lee is definitely Isaiah Johnson's go-to guy. But in that situation, you can't make that kind of decision.
So a 3rd and long, an obvious passing situation, even backed up at the 10, down 13-0. 7:14 left in the third. No, instead they will give it off. And immediately the Cougars defense saw it coming. They will pin the Raiders deep in their own territory and get favorable field position with a punt in their own end zone. 4th and 14, 6:59 in the third, 13-0 game. Cougars lead. So for COC, Nick, how do they keep the momentum going? Are they going to institute more runs being up this score? Or they continue
I think that only up by 13, you have to continue to put it down Moorpark's throat.
And the punt is away. It's again very, very, very short. And it will be down in plus territory. Marked at the 30. Well, we'll see where they mark it because now the ball's being kicked around.
But Sarsay trying to get a couple extra yards on it.
33-yard line, we'll say. That's where the marker of the official has put it down, it appears. So plus territory again for the Cougars with their foot on the gas pedal. 6:28, 13-0 the score. 1st and 10. They're marking it at the 32. So 1-yard correction from me. So
completely opposite starts to the start of this third quarter here. Moorpark with 2 back-to-back punts. In fact, 3 and outs on both those drives. And then, of course, the Cougars coming away with a passing touchdown and now a field goal.
So 6:28, they will start in plus territory, as we've said. Another pitch to the outside, trying to break a couple tackles, and good pursuit again by the Raiders D.
Ivory Jackson getting on that tackle. I think that's his first solo tackle of the night.
So a name we haven't said very often, one of the focal stars of last year's squad, along with Drew Mathis, who has since transferred away.
Drew Mathis, playing up there at Oregon on a full scholarship. Very proud of what he's done, what he did for this organization in Moorpark, and now taking his talents to the next level. It's such a prestigious football college in Oregon.
And he's making a name for himself there. Very proud to represent this school, I'm sure. 2nd and 8, 5:48 in the third. And it's going to be play action. He rolls to the right on a bootleg. He's got a man open deep. And touchdown. Touchdown, Cougars. That is number 2. That is Henderson again. The number 1 option for the COC offense. And they are cooking now. 19-0. 5:40 left in the third.
It seems to be a repeating trend here with Moorpark College. They start so strong in the first half. They battle against some of these top-tier teams. I mean, they could be a top-tier team themselves, but the mental mistakes, along with, of course, the blown coverages and whatnot defensively, caused Moorpark. I mean, it was 3-0 second half. We are, just over 8 minutes into this game here, and they're down by 19.
Now it's 20 as the kick is up and good. Extra point, 20-0, 5:40 to go. Moorpark will look to try and get some momentum. There is a flag. But offsides on the defense. That's number 20.
Mike
Peyton
Lowe.
Shelton.
Oh.
No, I'm sorry. Mike Lopez. You're correct. You're correct, Nick. So 20-0, 5:40 to go. And I want to go back to the quarterback situation because, once again, we don't know what is happening with Trey Johnson, but he seemed to have the offense in a rhythm of some kind. It could just be that Coach Stewart and the rest of the staff have a dual system in place for the entire season, and that is what they're sticking to.
I think that Trey Johnson's played a lot better. I know Isaiah Johnson's only got a couple of series, only 2 series to be exact, but Trey Johnson was definitely getting into pattern. Now, what I was talking about earlier, Justin, with giving Isaiah Johnson a couple series, which a couple means 2, that to make sure that he really wasn't progressing and there was nothing there for them to keep him in. So I would go back to Trey Johnson if I was Moore Park.
We'll see what they do on this possession. Fair catch signal and in the end zone, so they will bring it out to the 25. And there's some chirping on the sideline. Apparently somebody wanted a flag somewhere, but they won't get it. 5:40. They will start at the 25, see who comes in at quarterback. Again, we cannot report that Trey Johnson has any injuries or issues going on. We do not know that for sure.
And I'm almost positive that he's not injured in the fact that I think they really just went to a new quarterback in the second. We didn't see any sign for him.
We did not see him go down in any pain in any way.
I think, I mean, even though you can't speculate it does go without saying that this was 100% a quarterback decision. A decision.
Coaching decision. Up the middle, breaking a tough run there by Archibald. He got at least close to the first down. See if they move the sticks. They are not. It'll be marked as second and very, very short. 2nd and 1. 5:21 and ticking. They want to get some points on the board at least at the end of this quarter to give themselves a shot heading into the 4th here. Marked at the 34. 3 wide receivers near side. They're switching Archibald to the right. It'll be a pass on 2nd and short. And now the pocket is collapsing. He's got to scramble. He scrambles up the middle. He scrambles to the right. He goes back up the middle and dives down for first down.
And that's what we talked about when Isaiah Johnson gets pressure. He's phenomenal reading the field and making those quick decisions to keep the ball. Something that we haven't seen him do is just slide before taking a hit. He usually likes to have contact after play. Heads up play there.
And whistles. Timeout. COC will call it. And while we have a moment, we would like to thank our sponsors. Once again, without their help, we would not be able to have this broadcast and to bring this game to you. So, U.S. Army, go on business trips with a company like no other, U.S. Army. Big Brand Tire and Service, big on fast, big on friendly. Wells Fargo Bank. Wells Fargo is recommitting to help all of our customers succeed financially. Wells Fargo, established 1852, reestablished 2018. UCLA Health is a proud sponsor of Moore Park College Athletics, with neighborhood offices in Simi Valley, Porter Ranch, Thousand Oaks, Ventura, and Westlake Village. The very best care is now closer to you. UCLA Health, it begins with you. Pegasus Transit, we are the answer to your transportation needs. In-N-Out Burger, freshness you can taste. And we are back now as there's 4:44 left in the third, a 20-0 game. The ball marks at the 38 of the Raiders. They're looking to drive and get points on the board. 3 wide receivers near side. They just picked up a first down prior to that timeout. Snap is good. They're looking for the screen. No, now they look over the middle. Oh, what a catch. And he took a hard hit. That is, once again, Dylan Lee, the number 1 option for this Raider team.
Dylan Lee does something that I think should be noted. He catches with his body a lot, but he does it in a way that still protects himself when he falls.
And it's a quick snap, and they're going up tempo. Run to the right, and now they're trying to speed up the game. It is Archibald again. They will get another first down and move the chains. Exactly what they need to do. 4:24, 20-0 the score.
At this point, I think they go back to their first half scheme. It's working better than they did in the beginning of the second half.
Once again going fast. It's a screen pass. It's Skinner, and he gets crushed. Laid a hard hit. That was number 44 for COC. Julian Salazar. 4:03, 20-0, 2nd and 8 from the 46. They are north of the 50.
Julian Salazar definitely a leader here for the defense, and the Cougars coming up with 2 massive hits early on in the game and a pass deflection. Now another big tackle for Salazar.
3:48. They really want to score on this drive. They're looking at a methodical pace. Going over the middle, and beautiful catch by Smith, and he's going to get knocked down at the 25. 3:38. And that ball was zipped right in there, had a lot of speed, and he was able to control it. So Moore Park is driving. They're looking to get points in the red zone. It's a run. It's an option. Johnson kept it, got a couple. In terms of Moore Park in the red zone this season, when you talk about red zone scoring, they are 6 for 15 touchdowns, 40%. In terms of red zone, as the snap is away, they're going sideline, and a solid catch there.
One thing was we were talking about
That's Lee again.
Julian Salazar. I mean, we had talked about off the top of our heads 4 tackles that we had saw him make personally. Coming into this game, he only has 4 total tackles on the year, and they are all assisted tackle. 8 total tackles, 4 of them assisted, 4 of them solo. And that's pretty incredible. The way this kid's playing tonight, he's playing like he's been the leader, but in fact, he's not even on the top 10 leading tacklers for this team. So Julian Salazar having a game tonight.
3rd and 4, a possible 4-down territory at this juncture. 20-0 the score. They are going wide with Skinner. What a play call. He gets to the edge and gets outside, inside the 5.
Great play call right there. Nobody there on the far side. Skinner able to just pin it and get to the outside and pick up a first down and an extra 5 to 6 on that carry.
Well, that took guts. So it's first and 10, 2:17 left in the quarter. They're looking to score before the end of it. 1st and 5, it'll be 1st and goal to go, 20-0. And it appears to be touchdown or bust for this team, as there has been no field goals scored in the red zone, only touchdowns with 6 for 15. 2 minutes, going up the middle, trying to punch it in, and stuffed by the COC defense, a swarm of Cougars there. 1:51. If they're going to score, it looks like they're going to try and do it as close to the end of the quarter as possible. 2nd and goal at the 4. Lee on the far side. He's 1-on-1. 2 in the near side. Fuller, motion. Up. And now Johnson. That was a design scramble. Nearly red, but he got to the edge. Touchdown, Raiders. Another design play call, and the defense couldn't keep contained.
Johnson's so good at that. I don't even, to be honest, Justin, I think that wasn't designed. It looked to, he was trying to find a receiver in the end zone. They were all just locked up, and he just took it himself. Something that he does, he makes it look so natural. But really, in order to have that kind of vision and, rapid pace to break away from one play and take yourself is something that few quarterbacks can do.
He had one man to beat, and he was able to do so. 20-6 with an extra point upcoming with 1:20 left here in the 3rd. That's a huge score for this Raiders team in terms of morale and in terms of game situation heading into the 4th. Kick is up. Kick is definitely good. 20-7. And we have a game, folks. Don't go anywhere. We got action. As now we'll see what the Cougars decide to do, if they once again remain with their foot on the gas or choose to take a more conservative approach heading in as we end the 3rd and heading into the 4th. Moore Park did lose coming off a bye week, but they did lose to Saddleback the previous week, 36-20.
And I think it should be noted, Saddleback at the time, number 2 team in California, they were down by just 9 points. Saddleback scored that additional 7 points with just 57 seconds left in the game. So Moore Park battling between the number 2 team and the Saddleback Gauchos.
And
with what, 20-29 with less than a minute left. So that's what we're talking about, Justin. They can really play with the best.
They battle.
Right here,
they battle
the Cougars
hard.
are number 7 in the nation, or pardon me, in California, and they only were down by 3 at the first half. But they lose themselves always in the second half.
The Cougars did beat Golden West 35-24 last week as the ball is fielded, and he tries to get to the outside. There's no blockers if he beats his man, and now they're trying to continue upfield. 40, 30, inside the 30. They're going to mark him near the 25-yard line. A massive return for the Cougars right there, setting him up in plus territory with 1:08 left in the 3rd.
And Chase Budansky on that one, saving a touchdown right there, just barely able to trip up the returner, just enough to slow him down so that Moore Park could even have a chance to make a tackle.
So that is a massive blow to the Raider special teams unit and a big play for the Cougars team as they set up north of the 50 in plus territory, looking really to try and put this game out of reach for the Raiders, although we have another quarter to play.
And that last play,
And they're going to cut it outside, try to get upfield. Good contain by the Raiders D. Solid three-person tackle there.
that last play, just wanted to bring it up one last time. That's what you call a hero angle right there, when you are the last line of defense between you and the man that has the potential to score a touchdown. So great hero angle by 53 Spodansky.
Second down. No gain on the play. 42 seconds. They'll look to run at least one play before the end of the quarter. 20-7 the score. Ball marked at the 30. 3 on the far side, 1 in motion. Armani the snap. And the blitz. And a beautiful pressure on the quarterback affected the throw. Incomplete. 3rd and 10. This is a big show me down for the Raiders defense. 22 seconds left in the quarter. On the fringe of field goal range are the Cougars. We did see a possible leg from 48. It got pushed back to 53 earlier in the first half. A field goal here would be 47 yards, I think.
48.
48 yards.
Is it on the 30?
It's on the 30.
Oh, 47.
47.
Correct.
I thought it was 17 yards from the
Yep,
line.
correct.
So, they're bringing pressure. They're bringing the house. They are bringing the house. The pocket collapses. A sack. That is the biggest sack of the game, possibly of the season to date, for number 99.
I think number 51 was also in on that sack.
1 second. We're going to look.
51, that was Alex DeFoya coming in on that one.
Alex DeFoya on the play. It's 4th and 20, and it knocked him out of field goal range. A massive sack as we end the third quarter. A 20-7 game. Still within reach for the Raiders. It will make for a very intriguing final 15 minutes. So, Nick.
So, Justin.
What does Isaiah Johnson do if he is the leader for the final 15 of this game? Because we've seen flashes of his running ability with brilliance. The passing has been off the mark this half.
What does he have to do? I think that what it starts with right away is that he never has most of the time he does not have enough time in the pocket, right? Of course, that comes from the offensive line in the Moore Park Raiders. But what he can do, and that he's so good at, is when he does have time in the pocket, he is a gunslinger. Now, he actually might not be as accurate as Trey Johnson statistically, but he's a gunslinger, and he has that deep throw ball. He has that deep throw potential, and Isaiah Johnson is someone that can definitely take this team to the next level if he can stay focused.
And we have a timeout called, and while we do, we would like to thank some more of our sponsors, because once again, without them, we are not able to bring this broadcast to you, and we would like to thank them for their efforts. First off, Pegasus Transit. We are the answer to your transportation needs. In-N-Out Burger. Freshness you can taste. Simi Valley Auto Center. Proud to sponsor Moore Park College Athletics. DCH Lexus of Oxnard. Proudly supporting education and Moore Park College. Football, Lexus, experience amazing. PennyMac. Let us tackle all your mortgage needs, and we are back as I will finish that sponsor in just a moment once this punt is away.
Look for Mike Lowe on the return. A deadly personnel in the secondary. See how he does in the kick return game.
And he's going to take it upfield. What a punt. And it's going to pin them deep inside the 10. As, again, I would like to finish that sponsor, PennyMac, the lender you can call home. We would like to thank you for that. So, 1st and 10. Now they're backed up.
Surprising call for Lowe not to just, take a knee in the – yep.
Let it go in the end zone.
Exactly.
Yeah. You think that was his call there, or was that the sideline?
I think that it was his call. Most of the
call?
time in those situations that they take it back, unless, of course, you see those kickoffs where sometimes the other kick returner that doesn't get the ball will either, put a hands up or block for him, indicating whether to keep it or to hold it.
Do you find Isaiah to be a bit more fearless in the passing game? We know Trey was very calculated in the short passing attack, but Johnson's taking some chances. Will that help?
Isaiah Johnson?
Yeah.
I think that it's the flip of the coin. He definitely, without a doubt, is more fearless than Trey, but he's taken 7 times as many snaps as Trey. I think that if he's able to hit his receivers, it's going to be beneficial. If it's not, it's going to be harmful.
So the snap is away. They are throwing it over the middle. A juggle and a catch. That's Skinner. Close to the first down. We'll see where they mark him. Near the 20.
They're moving the chains on this one.
They're moving the chain, so it will be a first down. Moore Park doesn't necessarily, as there appears to be, is that an injured player or an injured official? It's an injured official. Not sure what the.
Or I don't think anyone's
looks like
down.
He's flexing a knee. He's flexing a knee. We hope it's not serious. But while we do have a moment, let's thank some more of our sponsors. Because once again, without them, we are not able to bring this game to you. And their efforts should be proudly rewarded. International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Southern California Life, powered for 125 years. IBEW, local number 47, is a proud supporter of the Moore Park College Raiders. TCH Auto Group, delivering customer happiness. Corner Bakery Cafe, Simi Town Center, proud to support Moore Park College. Athletics, breakfast, lunch, dinner, and catering. Matera Design Consultant for all your design, layout, and production needs. Contact Vince Matera at vmatera@earthlink.net. Matera Design Consultants. And we're back, and the official is walking off the field. He appears to be limping slightly.
Very, very rare that you ever
see
see an
an
official
official
get an injury.
Yeah, but we hope he is okay, and we hope he can come back into this game. We will see, but being down a man does affect not only the crew but the entire game, as there is the snap, and now scrambling once again is Johnson. He cuts it upfield and almost lost the ball and fell right on it. Very fortunate there.
In fact, he did lose the ball. He got a lucky bounce that went right back to him on that one.
And Smith checks out and Lee checks in. But as they go hurry up, and now the snap is good, it's a give up the middle, and he gets about 5. They will mark it at the 35-yard line, 36-yard line. It is a first down. They're moving the chains. 14-15 left in the third. And there's 3 on the far side. They're trying to hurry up as fast as they can here. Up-tempo offense. And now it's up the middle, and a much better job at containing for the Cougar D. A gain of a couple. But, Mick, I wanted to get your thoughts on what having one less official will do for a game.
I think it changes the entire dynamic.
And now they're going hurry up again. That's Meeks up the middle to the 40. 3rd and 5.
It changes the entire dynamic of the game because you have one less set of eyes. Therefore, it's a more of he said, did he not say sort of, instance.
You could miss a penalty as well.
You're missing a whole official. It changes the entire game.
They're going fast. It's another hurry-up screen, and he fights his way. That is a brilliant, tough run. First down, move the chains. 20-7 the score. 13:27 left in the third. They are going fast.
You got to love Dylan Lee's first down celebration every down. He does that Antonio Brown where he just puts his knee in the ground and points forward.
It's a classic as they go wide. Oh, my goodness. That was nearly telegraphed, but incomplete. High through the hands. So it'll be 2nd and 10, 13-16, 20-7 the score.
Moore Park methodical in their offense, but definitely chipping away at it here. They still have plenty of time. I mean, down by 2 touchdowns. What they can't do is come away with no points on this drive, though. They have to come away with something on this drive, especially as long as it's taking for them to
Jalen
get it
Lewis
moving.
was on the coverage of the last play. Nearly picked that one off. And whistles, flag. Far sideline, marked at the 43. We'll see who it's on. Number 55 for the Cougars is checking in. So number 55, Taylor Lewis, has checked in as that penalty was on the Raiders. It'll be a false start, 2nd and 15. 13-15 to go and ticking, 20-7 the score.
The wind has really picked up here tonight, as you can hear it in the microphones as well.
We feel it up here. Imagine how they feel down on the field there. And scrambling away and sacked. Sacked. Johnson, that is a massive sack there. Good momentum for this Cougar D. 3rd and long. Not sure if that was designed or if he had to scramble out of the pocket as it was collapsing. 12:46 in the 3rd. 3rd and 20 from now the 34-yard line.
As we were talking about the wind here,
Wind is blowing papers away.
It physically picked my pencil up and threw it across the bleachers here. It's getting intense.
So with this wind, it will affect many things, including the throwing ability of Johnson. 12:23 in the 3rd quarter, 3rd and 20. They're going long. Pressure picked up. High throw. Did he come down with it? Nope, they are marking it incomplete. It's 4th and 20, and Moore Park will need to punt. So, as you said, Nick, they couldn't afford a 3-and-out. That's what happened. How on defense do they regroup again and try and get off the field quickly?
Of course, I mean, they have to the defense now has to force a 3-and-out, but what they want to do is, if possible, of course, they want to come away with some pass deflections, some tackles out of bounds, anything that can get this clock to stop, because though there's still 12 minutes, they need every minute they can to give back to their offense to give them an opportunity. And as we've seen tonight, Moore Park is very slow-paced when it comes to driving down the field.
And Thomas Galvan came on the field as that punt is away. A much better punt, but coverage is lacking, and now he's again north of the 50, marked at the 41-yard line. A good return by the Cougars special teams unit.
Zach Jones, one of these players that we talked about early on in the first quarter, who had 3 receptions on that one particular drive in the first quarter, now coming away with the tackle as well. So some of these special teams players, how they get from special teams onto the starting unit is making these, these basic but textbook plays, just tackles here, not giving up on the play. And
well,
Zach Jones, he's been doing it all tonight.
Nick, I want to get your thoughts on these punts as well, because we've seen a lot of short ones.
That last one was rather, intermediate to say the least. But yeah, these punts have really been detrimental to Moore Park College, and they've been hurting their defense.
Number 9 for the Cougars is sprinting on the field. That's Trevin Elliott. And they're going with a pass, and it's dropped. It was intended for number 4, Amari Smith.
That's Smith's second or third give-me drop, if you will.
11:58, 20-7 the score. 2nd and 10 from the 42 of the Raiders.
And that's what we talked about. We want plays that can stop. Or, pardon me,
Quickly.
that's what you'd asked me.
Right.
Plays that will stop the clock to give Moore Park the most time possible offensively.
2 wide receivers each side. 2nd and 10. It's play action. Rolling right is Armani. He's going long. Nearly intercepted again. And now the corner is kicking himself. He's on the track. He's on the Damon Johnson is having a fit because he thought he had that pick, and right through his hands. 11:51, 20-7.
Yeah, the frustration right there by Johnson, you could see that he knew that should have been a give-me on that one. I'm going to stop saying the word give-me. Let's change it up. He knew that should have been a
easy interception.
Easy interception, right? I'm trying to say all these nickname words.
Yeah,
Yes.
just keep it simple.
Exactly. That should have been an interception by Johnson, and you're not going to get too many opportunities like that.
They now go 5 wide, 3rd and 10, and they're laundry. They called a timeout before the snap. The play clock was at 1, and they needed to get it away. But while we have a moment, let us thank some more of our sponsors, because once again, without their help, we are not able to bring this broadcast to you, this exciting game we have going on. So we'll start with Los Robles Health System, has been your source for your family's health care for more than 50 years. Award-winning care closer to home. Custom Pie in the bar next door. Wood-only oven pizza, 17 craft beers on tap, wine by the glass, appetizers, pasta, salad, and more. Home of the Raider Happy Hour after each home football game. Marketplace, official supplier of trophies, awards, gifts, and apparel of Moore Park College Athletics since 2007. Coca-Cola celebrates, helping athletes power through with Powerade. Corporate Graphics Communications, official signage company of Moore Park College Athletics. Jan's Marketplace, cheers to a successful season, proudly supporting Moore Park College Athletics. And we are back as we have 11:51 in the third quarter, 20-7 the score, 3rd and 10, a big third down for this Cougar offense.
I don't know if our cameraman can get the moon right now, but it's looking very eerie. I've never seen the moon look like this before.
Where are you even looking?
It
Where are
looks
you looking?
dark brown almost.
Yes.
Evil color looking moon.
Is it an
We don't have to
omen of
worry about
something?
that,
I
but
don't know.
something maybe the next break we can get. But wow, that
And
Halloween
the snap
spirit.
is away. Armani, pressure late. Good. Oh, he missed the tackle. He missed the tackle. Got outside, close to the marker. We'll see where they spot him, but this could be 4-down territory now.
Damon Johnson missing a crucial tackle that would have stopped those chains.
And Amari
6
Smith
yards
again on the
stride.
reception.
Maury once again on the reception, coming up with another key reception as they just keep picking away at the defense.
4th and a long 2, and they're at a spot in the field where going for it may be a much better option. 11:24 ball marked at the 34 of the Raiders. 20-7 the score. Biggest 4th down of the game to date for the Raider D. 3 wide receivers, all near side. Passing, looking, corner, short. No flag. And the Raider defense comes up with a massive stop, and they're getting the ball back with 11:03 to go at their own 34-yard line. So, can they capitalize on this fortune that they've been given?
We will find out.
Isaiah Johnson.
I think that it's time to avoid any sort of interior runs. If you are going to run the ball, I know there's still 11 minutes. Yeah, keep it on the outside, maybe even potential swing passes, but you want to stay away from these clock-killing plays.
So the snap is away. Look out, pressure. And he picks it up going long. And Dylan Lee has it go right through his hands. Incomplete. That would have been a massive completion. He looks to be a little shaken up on the play. Yeah, he's hopping along a little bit. He's going to limp to the sideline. He's not requesting assistance yet. They're not stopping play.
One thing that I had talked about earlier, but I might want to revoke, is the fact that Dylan Lee uses his body so much to catch the ball. It's okay in certain situations where he's trying to protect himself. He does a good job of, especially in the middle, catching it with his body but coming down and protecting the ball. But when it comes to these deep long balls, he uses his shoulder pads, and you can't do that.
And the snap is away. And now pressure. Pocket collapses. He scrambles out. He's going right. And he makes something out of nothing. And it'll be a 3rd down. And maybe 4. Player down for the Raiders. That's number 2, Eric Mateo. And another guy's limping. That's number 68 for the Raiders, Joe Reyes, an offensive lineman. But a player, and it appears to be Mateo, who we've said his name a few times today.
They look to be stretching him out, potential hamstring. That happens late, especially in the fourth quarter.
Well, I'm not sure it's Mateo because he's a defensive end.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know if it's Mateo.
I don't think
down, but are you talking about down here by the 30 on the opposite, on the far side? Because I know right down here, this is an offensive lineman for sure.
Yeah, because there's a couple guys at the moment that are.
One's getting stretched out off
Yeah.
the sideline. That doesn't look to be a serious injury, just like a muscle spasm. But this one, with all the trainers surrounding on the 30-yard line, that's got to be.
Well,
that is
and-
an offensive
and
lineman.
they-
And that is already the weakest link to this Moore Park offense. So you don't want to be breaking that chain any more than you need to
Well, and the entire Moore Park, well, many on the Moore Park team are kneeling at the moment.
be. Right, and of course for our viewers at home, that's for those that are unaware, when someone is injured on the field, taking a knee is shown as a sign of respect for the player that is in pain.
Yeah.
But he is
And
able to
he's
get to his
good.
foot, which is nice.
And it appears they will help him off. Can't quite see the jersey
77
number. 77.
for the Moore Park Raider
That
offensive
is Mark
line.
Diaz, who we've said his name a few
A couple
times
times with
today.
penalties tonight,
Penalties tonight, but we never want to see an injury to anyone.
Oh, no, of
Of
course not.
course.
Of course not.
But
That's when, the last time we heard his name was with those penalties.
was with those penalties.
And it is very hard to be an offensive lineman at any level because the saying goes, the only way you know that you're a good offensive lineman is if you never hear your name, because the only time they'll ever call your name is if you have a penalty. But unfortunately, Diaz, that
the
is a huge
unsung heroes
Exactly.
of the football club.
Ezekiel Elliott's entire squadron.
Well, Yeah.
Yeah.
All first-round picks for the Cowboys.
Exactly.
I'll say that much.
Exactly.
Third and 6, a big third down for the Raiders D. And they're going to run the ball. Wow. Interesting play call, to say the least. Stop behind the line. It will be a 4th down. We'll see what they look to do with 10:25. And we're now in the 4th quarter, so this could be a 4-down territory situation now.
I think it goes without saying. I know there's 10 minutes left, but with the way Moore Park's offense has been playing, you might not get another opportunity with this score being the way it is, so you have to take advantage of it. Though they are on the 30, though, it is kind of risky. I mean, potentially punting wouldn't be the worst decision. It's one of those betweener calls.
Well, and COC's offense has been spotty enough to a point where if they get the big play downfield, which they've been looking for all night, and so the snap is away, and again, Johnson scrambling, and he's not going to get enough.
Not even close.
Not even close.
But I understand what he was doing on that play. He realized he wasn't going to get the first. Why risk your body, as we talked about? There's still another down to be fought.
Well, and
just go out of bounds.
Also, you want to try to minimize the plus territory.
Right, exactly. There's still a benefit in there, because now this punt that it will be kicked in just a few seconds here has a nice 5 or 6 yards added to it because of that run by Johnson. So there was some benefit.
So it is 1st and 10. Turnover on downs.
I apologize. Yeah, that was a 4th down that they'd gone for.
Yeah,
so, of course, they're not going to punt it.
Get it. Yeah.
That's going to be a turnover on downs. But still, it helps a little bit.
Bringing pressure. Picked up well. Going deep. Got a man. Tipped, and great coverage by the Moore Park secondary. That is textbook. 9:38 to go. 20-7. The time to stop them is now. Interesting to ask the question, would you run the football? Start running the football more if you're COC with 9:38.
Yep, I think that it goes without saying that you can definitely start incorporating the run now with less than 10 minutes in the game. They are up by 13, but remember, 13 is a 2-possession game. So it's not to say that they have the ball game in their hands, but running the clock, you can definitely start implying it into your package for this drive. I think goes without saying.
Especially with the way Moore Park's offense has been playing at the moment. They're going to go with the screen. Picked up. And missed tackles have been the story of the game, and yet again it bites Moore Park as they will have a close to a 1st down. It'll be a 3rd down and 2.
That was Carlos Coates on that one of the top 2 linebackers here from Moore Park College.
So 3rd and 2, the kicker has a leg if they choose to use it, if it comes to that. 9:02 ticking, 20-7 the score in the 4th quarter. Receiver in motion. They're going to give it to the back, try to punch it in, and Raiders defense, the ball is loose, picked up by Moore Park. And that is the break that the Raiders needed.
It was a break so much that Justin's voice just broke.
Yes.
That was an incredible play defensively by the Moore Park Raiders right there. Near scoop and score, but they'll take what they can get. That's the momentum shift that they need. Moore Park's offense has to come out firing and shooting on all cylinders. They need to go pass play, pass play, pass play. Do not worry about nor even think about putting any sort of run play together.
Well, and that I get one a game, Nick.
They are going to say forward progress for all that for nothing.
Wow. That is a massive call by the officiating crew in this game. Once again, at the moment, I cannot confirm, but we did see an official go down earlier in the contest, and they have marked the runner down, and I'm sure the Raider sideline is going to have fits over that decision. And I think what they may contest is not the call itself, but how late the call came in, well after the fumble reception. But with that lucky break now for COC, the ball is thrown low at the feet of the receiver. It will be a 4th and 2, and they are going to bring a unit out. It appears to be we will see if it's the kicking or the punting unit in just a moment. 8:11 left in the 4th, but that changes everything, as now Moore Park will be inevitably backed up.
It's back-to-back 4 and outs for the Cougars, as their offense has definitely started to shut down late in this game. Now, I keep talking about it, but I really want our viewers to understand that it does have a huge disadvantage to both teams. This wind factor here, if the camera's able to pick it up here, some of these trees are huge, are going crazy over here, looking like some of these fans. And what that can do is, obviously for a receiver, for a quarterback, though the football has, around 12 PSI in it, it's not going to go exactly where you want it to go. And don't even get me started on field goals. It's a whole nother story.
Skinner in motion. They're going to throw. Oh, and dropped. Oh, and a late hit, but that's yet another one the Raiders are going to elect to have back. That's Dupree Fuller.
And Dupree Fuller, he's got to get his hands around. You saw him going with the alligator kind of catch.
Was he starting to run before he caught it?
Yep, that as well, too, ball first. But there's a rule of thumb. If the ball is at your waist or lower, you want to flip your hands down. And even if it's above your waist, you want to have your hands in a triangle formation. He kind of just slapped at it almost like a claw machine right there.
So it is 2nd and 10, 8:07 to go, 20-7 the score. Now's the time for the Raiders defense, and they're going to want to score at maybe not a extremely rapid pace, but a methodical one at that. And scramble. He gets away from one. He's going to throw! Broken up again. And you may wonder whether he should have just taken the run and gotten down.
I think that was the right call there on that. I mean, he saw an open receiver on Skinnier. Skinnier unable to come away with it. Great coverage by the Cougar defense. But that was the right decision there by Johnson, trying to pick up. That would have been a first down for him.
Obvious 4-down territory, 7:59, 3rd and 10, 20-7. You don't need to get it all here. From the 31.
Don't need to get it all, but definitely need to get some. And probably a majority of the first down is what you're looking for
here. Would you be shocked if they ran it?
I would. I think that would be something out of a different sort of playbook.
They're throwing. Pocket collapses again, forces Johnson to scramble. He does get some, tries to get out of bounds.
And he did exactly what we
were
hoping.
To do there.
Get the majority of the first down, if not enough for the first down.
He did get enough. They are moving the sticks.
Chains are moving. It looks to be enough.
And that's a huge first down at this juncture. 7:41. 20-7 the score. 1st and 10 now, marked at the 42-yard line, but they're going to want to move quick.
Start to look at the Cougars' defense as they all seem to be a little bit gassed. They've been on the field for more of the time than the Moore Park defense has been on the field.
Interesting given the score, but the time of possession forces that. Johnson away. Now he throws and nearly overshoots.
He is a gunslinger.
Intended for Lipkin.
He is a gunslinger, but once again, Johnson, lucky that was overthrown by himself, as double covered again was Limpkin, and that could have been easily intercepted.
Unnecessary risk, you would say?
Unnecessary risk.
2nd and 10 from the 42, 20-7, 7:19 left. Now they will slow it down. Given the incompletion, the clock does stop.
Zach Jones back out there, number 31 here on the shallow side on the 40-yard line. He was a guy we saw have a couple of receptions and a nice tackle on specialties.
And with that, they're calling a timeout, so it appears. And while we have a minute, we'd like to thank some more of our sponsors, because once again, without them, we would not be able to have this broadcast and do what we do successfully. So we'd like to thank them for their efforts. Starting with the Hat Restaurant in Simi Valley since 1951. 68 years of serving the world-famous pastrami, burgers, dogs, and chili. Open 7 days from 10 a.m. to 11 p.m. www.thehat.com. Latin Auto Group, featuring Subaru, family-owned and operated for over 45 years. Always close to home, located in the Thousand Oaks Auto Mall, Latin Subaru. Meathead Movers, don't settle for anything less than the best. Meathead Movers, proudly serving Ventura County since 2007. Stonefire Grill, where community is served, dine-in, takeout, delivery, and catering, proudly supporting Moore Park College athletics. College football is here. Chick-fil-A, celebrate with Chick-fil-A, Sycamore Square in Simi Valley. Eat, drink, play at Dave & Buster's in Thousand Oaks. And while we're back, 7:19 to go, 20-7 our score again. In this one, 2nd and 10 from the 42. They're passing as expected. Tries to dump it. Oh, whoa. Hello. Wow. That was a vicious hit laid down by number 21, Madison Wheeler. Whoa!
You can't do that as a quarterback. You cannot expose your running back with his back to the linebackers. That's only how you get him hurt, but that's how you lose the ball. Luckily, Archibald wasn't able to hold on to that ball. That would have been an easy fumble right there, but you cannot make a decision like that. That's smart quarterbacks. What you got to do is you got to make sure you keep your players in a position to, ultimately be safe in the fact of where they're catching it. Right there, you exposed them.
That's going to leave a mark. 3rd and 10. 20-7 the score. They're passing again. Now it's a wide receiver that threw it, and he just got decked. There's no flag. Now there is a flag. They will throw it.
Pretty obvious call on that one, as Dupree Fuller was blocked from his route he was running.
So the flag came in late. PI on the defense. That's number 21, Madison Wheeler. So we just said his name on that vicious hit that he gave Archibald there, rude awakening, and now he gets called for the PI. So they move the ball north of the 50. It's marked at the COC 43.
With just over 7 minutes in the game, Moore Park really has to do some scoring here.
They move Fuller. He's in as a blocker. They're going to try and run. No, now they're going to pass. Picked. That is picked. Number 19 for COC, running down the sideline. Has a block, makes a man miss. Got more running room. He's still going. Touchdown, COC. That's number 19, Demaje Williams. On the interception return for the touchdown, possibly putting this game out of reach. It's 26-7. And now there's a couple guys down for the Raiders. Number 69 is limping again. That is number 69, Johan Rodriguez, is limping off.
That was incredible.
What?
By the Cougar defense. I mean, did you see how the entire defense just became a blocking
unit.
shield? Yeah.
And at one point, I thought the receiver was going to go out of bounds,
but
and
he
then
didn't.
cut up field.
One thing I think that if you run this playback in the tape, you kind of see that the offense, Moore Park's offense, kind of gives up on the play. They kind of have a lifeless go about it towards the end there, and the Cougars built off that momentum and just took it to the house.
Sort of like an oh well ideology as the kick is up and good. 27-7 with 6:47 left in the game. Very well, possibly out of reach for the Raiders. If so, El Camino will improve to 5-1, and Moore Park will drop to 1-5 on the season.
It's these short, these small incremental errors that end up being massively detrimental to Moore Park, as that they show a lot of greatness, but not long enough for it to ever come out to anything on a stat sheet or even a win at the very least. They're able to battle with some of these top tier teams. In certain games even have the lead for certain occasions, dominate. Yeah, they have players with serious potential. They are overall as a team. You can definitely say that they are a better team this year than they were last year, but they aren't able. These small little mistakes like an interception, right? That's it happens.
Penalties.
Make the tackle. You see right there that they were kind of half butting it, and right there that the Cougars took advantage because they wanted more on that play, and that's why they were able to get a pick six. So Moore Park's attitude when they're down, they have to change that.
So 27-7 with 6:47 to go. With any hope, they must score now at a very rapid pace. Kick is away. And they're going to let it bounce. They're going to let it bounce. Oh, it got picked up. Are they going to mark him? Are they going to mark it out?
Wow.
The whistle's blew. I don't know what the whistle's blew for.
That's our viewers know at home, that is the equivalent of an onside kick. If the ball goes more than 10 yards and is not touched by the receiving team and the kicking team grabs the ball, that is fair game. The Cougars will have possession inside the red zone.
Moore Park just fell asleep.
I don't know what they were thinking on that one.
The wind. It looked like the wind had pushed it back, and then
it also looked like the returner was trying to
indecision.
What he should have done is he should have waved it off.
Oh, my goodness. And that may seal it. That is,
That does all
Wow.
about do it.
wow. I don't think I've ever seen that in my life.
Whoop, you saw it tonight,
There's
Justin.
a first for everything, isn't there?
There is.
Whoa. All right. Well, 1st and 10, 6:47 to go as they're going to run it. Try to bounce it outside. Break a tackle. And tripped up. Nice defensive play by number 55 for the Raiders. Number 55, A.J. Reynoso right there. 6:31. Look for the Cougars to run it out for the remainder of the game.
As you said, A.J. Reynoso right there now, as we're starting to see Moore Park aware of the situation here, getting some of those backups in to progress their skill level here for the Moore Park Raiders.
By the way, my voice cracked again. I just thought you should all know.
Oh, all right. There you
Last-
go.
On that last play.
You heard it there.
They're going to pass. It's a screen. Breaks a tackle. Flag down. That was number 4, Amari Smith again. Seeing a lot more in the second half.
Wait to see what the call is here. Not too many flags here in the second half, or in the game that matter, other than Moore Park in the first half.
Holding, and they are going to move it back. 6:04. An onside kick that was not planned. Let's make that clear.
That is something that we don't even have to speculate. I think that is given.
Yeah, it was kicked deep.
They had no way said we're going to kick it down to the 15-yard line.
An indecisive move by the returner led to a recovery by the Cougars. The ball moved back from the penalty. 5:45, 5 seconds on the play clock. Receiver in motion. Give to the edge. Got a block. Upfield and knocked down at the 10. A solid run by number 26 for the Cougars, Cyrus Zuel again. 5:21 to go, 27-7 the score. 3rd and 1, so they'll give them a gain of 14. Got a chunk of the yardage back. 5:09, they're going to run the play clock inside of 10 seconds at least.
This is a definite running situation here.
And run up the middle. They give to the back. A smart decision by Armani. They're pushing him in. Did he get in there? What do the officials say? Touchdown. Cougars, and they have put this seal on it now. 33-7 our score with 4:48 to go.
Once again, who wants it more?
The effort at the end of this game, we said it last week at the end as well, as Moore Park did give up 27 unanswered points. At the time of the when the fourth quarter started, the game was tied. So this extra point will make it 34-7. Ironically, the only win for the Raiders to date was a 34-7 score against Glendale in, let us see here for one quick second, 34-7 score in week number 3. So,
so far, Moore Park has been struggling. You know, we can hear some of the fans not too
thrilled.
not too thrilled about the
The
performance
moment.
tonight. But, you know, it's all about keeping your head up and coming at it next week, as they will. Do want to let everyone know here that the 51st annual Citrus Cup,
Yes.
the rivalry game that everyone cannot wait for, will be at Moore Park this year, where they will play the Ventura Pirates, their county rivals. Now, there will also be the Auto Center group there, and there will be 4 different cars on display at Moore Park College to check out for anyone looking to purchase a new vehicle. So we got a lot of fun coming up.
Nice plug, bud.
There you go.
Nice
little
nice
advertisement.
promo.
Nice little advertisement.
34-7 the score. 4:48 in the fourth. Kick is away, and I don't think it's going to end up being a onside this time. It goes out of bounds. Flag is down. Wind is really howling at the moment. The moon is quite prominent.
Is our cameraman able to get that moon? It's a little bit less scary now, but it was in some festive festivities early on. I do also want to shout out the cheer team for making the trip out tonight. You know, coming from Moore Park College, this is their first road game. Shouts out to Jimena Aguilar coming and supporting the Moore Park Raiders along with her entire crew, as this is their first away game. So,
I also,
cheer squad.
Want to give a quick shout out to Giancarlo Tarifa. He happens to be my neighbor, and he is playing for the COC Cougars. Just very proud to see him down on that field. I don't know if he got any playing time tonight, but it's just great to see him on the roster. So, way to go for him.
You know what? According to the broadcast, he got playing time.
Yeah, right.
We said his name. He's
Right.
got to have been out there.
And so it's another scramble for Johnson. They are playing prevent coverage. It means a run for him.
And, of course,
440.
prevent defense is basically just making sure that there's no deep balls thrown against the defense as they drop usually 3 safeties back. You know, you spread out your linebackers and you only send 3.
So it is 2nd down and 4 with 4:22 to go. Would you say that Moore Park is kind of mailing it in at this point? It's time to sort of pack up and move on to next week, in a
Yeah,
sense?
I mean, of course, they're still going to keep playing. You can't
Right.
totally give up. But especially when you're on offense, you have that attitude. Defensively, you can get away with a little bit
Another
more.
scramble going long. You got to give it to Johnson. He's taking risks, but it's way wide and way long, incomplete.
It is pretty incredible the fact that, you know, he's just doing this off his back foot. He's over by, the 40-yard line, and that ball
Yes.
went down at about the 5.
Well, he's got the arm strength.
So,
he's got
I mean,
Patrick
a
Mahomes.
65-yard throw, and it wasn't like a wall. That was a dime.
Yeah.
But, of course, it wasn't because it was overthrown. But he has that potential. I think that what he should really work on this week, and then, of course, when this offseason comes up, if he doesn't get any offers, that is Isaiah Johnson, is really working on his long ball ability. Now, the strength is there, and that's something that you either have or you don't. But the precision is something that you can work on. It's almost like being fast. If you're fast, that's great. Now you work on your vision. But you can have great vision, and you can't get much faster. You know what I'm saying?
Well, here's the struggle, though, is that we saw 2 quarterbacks today.
Right.
And at some point, as the run is up the middle and it's a gain of a couple, and at some point you wonder, will they go to 1 quarterback for the rest of the year? Will they find their guy?
Right.
Because at that point, like you said earlier in this broadcast, you want to find somebody to build around. You want to find somebody that you could look to as a leader and to have your offensive play call flow.
Right. They don't have that. I mean, we're into the second half of the season.
4th quarter, 4th down, throw, dropped. And it is a turnover on downs for the Raiders. It will give the ball back to COC. They will look to run it out the final 3:30. 34-7.
Justin, you've been asking me a lot about my thoughts, and I understand as being a play-by-play guy, that is your job. But let me ask you, what are some of your thoughts on tonight's game?
Yeah, we got time. So clearly, again, I'm just perplexed that you have a rhythm on offense with Trey Johnson.
And you pull that.
Now, again, it could be that he's hurt. I have no idea. We have no idea.
Right.
It could be that this is a scheme decision in a sense that you had this plan going into the game and you were going to stick to it no matter what the outcome was. But I feel that you don't go with what's you don't break what's working. you don't change what is giving you a rhythm, and I think that was the catalyst for, as there is a timeout, and we have read through all of our sponsors, so I'm just going to keep talking.
Go for it. That's what it's all about.
But again, we do thank them for their efforts for us as we continue to call games for the rest of this season.
Very much so. I mean, none of this is possible without them.
I also would like to thank I forgot to do this last week, and I apologize profusely to these people. Michael Grimes, Vance Manikis, Vern Vegsk. So it's hard to say those names. I will get them by the end of the year. We would like to thank them. They are our athletic directors and our staff. And Michael does run our entire production team, both for home games, and he has lent this equipment to us for road games. So we would like to thank them for making this possible for us to be able to do this, what we love, every week. It's a great privilege for us, certainly. But once again, COC looks to run it out. Perplexing. I think, once again, that the quarterback situation was the catalyst for this deficit. Not the penalties, because even though we saw them sporadically, they were spread out. As there is a run to the outside, blockers up the gut, 80, and that is a brilliant run. 19-yard pickup. for the Cougars. That's a first down, and they are still moving the chains with their foot on the gas pedal here. But as we look forward in the coming weeks, especially next week, Nick, you mentioned we got the rivalry game, the Citrus Cup. It's a conference game. It's 6 o'clock at home. Please come out and support your Raiders if you are watching this on tape delay in the coming days. 6 o'clock, October 26th versus Ventura. For COC,
Real quick for that Ventura game that you were talking about, Justin, that's going to be this. By the time this game airs, it's going to be this Saturday.
Yes.
So
that's
this should
correct.
be up on Monday.
That's
So
an
by the time that
important
everyone's
note.
watching this, it'll be this upcoming Saturday.
That's an important note. 2:37 and ticking. It's a second down. 34-7 our score. For COC, once again, once this game airs, they will be looking also at a October 26th matchup at East Los Angeles. So they will be on the road. That's a 6 o'clock conference game for them as well. But they will improve to 5-1 on the season. Moore Park will drop to 1-5, and that also makes COC 15-2 in their last 17 games dating back to last season. They finished the previous year 10-1, making a bowl game and winning that as well. 1:59, and the ball is taken up the gut. Mark near the 10.
Michael Wilson, the quarterback in the backup here, getting
Which
some reps as well.
Seems customary considering our time and score. 1:46, ticking away. Ball at the 8. And also, we would like to thank the cameraman. In a bit
Justin, tell us your
So
relationship with the
The
cameraman.
relationship with this cameraman is also very special. He happens to be my father.
Hey, there we go.
So, Pops.
Give Barry the mic.
Pops.
Give Barry the mic. Let him say something.
No. No. We are very professional here, and it has to stay with us. My dad.
Thank you.
I will relay the
Thank
message
you.
in case you couldn't hear it. He said it's an absolute honor to listen to us do our thing every week, and
And then Nick's the greatest he's ever seen. Justin's
Well,
okay. Thank you.
well, a little biased there, but I personally would like to thank him for always supporting us, always supporting me, making sure I get everything taken care of every week, and being
Definitely, yeah.
being the extra man on the staff.
Been a great guy helping
for
us
us.
out. Yeah, definitely with rides. We went to Palomar.
Yeah.
Barry drove us.
Grabbed
Barry,
food,
Justin's
we
dad.
got food.
We
It
did.
was great.
We had a good time.
Bakersfield
was
yeah.
fun too. We
Hour
between
drive.
the three of us here, Justin, Barry, and I, and also Ryan,
Ryan
we really
as well.
developed a great friendship, and it's awesome.
And we would like to, I'd like to give a shout out to Robert as well. He won't be with us for the remainder of the year, but he did stay with us for a couple of games, and he has been an integral part of our group. We've had several, personal group chats with him where things have been awesome and amazing, and he's doing some great
Definitely.
things with podcasting in terms of our department. But we're going to wrap this up. The game is over. It is a 34-7 victory for the Cougars. Once again, they improved to 5-1 on the season. Moore Park will drop to 1-5. And Nick, your thoughts as we wrap this?
Thoughts on the game.
up.
So Moore Park, first half, I don't want to say dominant, but rather excelling in most areas, especially in the pass game, though I know only 69 yards and an interception by Trey Johnson. If you watch the composure, which is something that I think's been overlooked a lot, how calm Trey Johnson, who hasn't yet started a game, I guess he's technically started Palomar for 2 series, but hasn't really played a full game through, looked very composed, calm. The connections were there. There was a couple plays. Dylan Lee could have caught the ball down there on the 5-yard of the 30. Would have been a potential touchdown. There's been a lot of opportunities that were missed and a lot of opportunities that they can build off of. But ultimately, they got to stop hanging their heads low when they get down in the game, and they have to fight with heart. They have heart, but once the game starts to get out of hand, you kind of start to see the players give up, and that's why these last touchdown or two happens. It could be avoided. As for College of the Canyons, phenomenal game. They really stepped it up. We talked about those second half adjustments. Came back, and only up by 3. Let the record show it was 3-0 at halftime. Final score 34-3. So 31 points for the Cougars. They dominated offensively, defensively. We saw a pick 6. We saw the unity, something that Moore Park seems to be lacking. The unity between the chemistry on and off the field is something that is definitely there for the Cougars, and that is why they came into this game at number 7 in California.
Well, there you have it. And with that,
One last final thing, too, I also
and
want to
Nick wants
let our viewers know next week is, as we talked about, the Citrus Cup, 51st Annual Citrus Cup at Moore Park College. which will be, by the time you guys see this, which will be up on Monday, will be Saturday at 6 p.m. at Moore Park College. Don't miss it. It's going to be a phenomenal night. We also have the Auto Center night, which we bring 4 different vehicles onto the field. So if you're looking to buy a vehicle or even slightly interested, you got to make sure you come in and support for the cross-county rivalry.
Well, there you have it. I was going to make the plug, and Nick did it for me.
Okay.
So we thank you for tuning in tonight to the Moore Park Raider live stream. Please check this out on tape delay in the coming days, and we will see you next weekend for the big rivalry game against Ventura, Saturday, October 26th. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a great night.